Hey, everybody. Sorry we're a couple minutes late. Technical difficulties. Heck yeah. All right, well, I won't make you wait too long. Let me go ahead and get everyone added to the stream. Tonight, we have a very special guest on. We've had him on before, Mr. Mark Krebs. We've had way more subscribers since the last time we had him on, so hopefully some new people will be introduced to his legend. And we'll get into all things Krebs, Mark Krebs, what makes him tick, past, present, future, and all that. And we have some other special guests that I'll bring on really quick. Some of you people in the chat already know this guy, Thomas Slavic Cowboy.
How's it going?
How are you, sir? The other guy I want to bring up is Jamie from Midwest Savage. Really fun YouTube channel. You've seen Jamie in a few of my videos, I'm sure. I think you've popped up here and there.
Been accused of it.
Yeah. And here's a new one. Show 1911 by 39 on the gram. I met Show for the first time maybe at one of the K-Cons, or maybe it was at Mark's booth at KB. I can't remember which came first. Okay. Yeah, so everyone on the stream tonight has personal time with Mark. Everyone knows Mark on a personal level. I'm sure everyone has their own stories. I know Jamie has some good ones. I'm sure Show has some good ones. Tommy, you've been helping Mark out quite a bit lately with all kinds of things, so I thought it would be cool to have the whole gang on the live stream. You guys have way more access to Mark than I do, so yeah, thanks for joining, everybody.
Yeah.
All right, let me go ahead and bring up the man of the hour. Oh, thank you. Cheers. Thank God it's Friday.
Show, hold up your juice box.
Show, where's your juice box?
Are you drinking juice, Show?
Where's your juice box?
Okay.
It's empty, though.
All right, well, let me bring him up. Mr. Mark Krebs of Krebs Custom, the legend himself, literally the greatest AK Smith of our time, is on the live stream tonight, so I could not be more excited. And he's a man of few words, obviously.
Hi, Mark.
Hey. Well, you know, one of the first things I'd like to talk about really is, you know, about what makes Mark Krebs tick and all that shit, is you guys. Honestly, between you guys, and there's more people involved in this and on the shooting team and all that crap, but these guys, including you, Clay, have all helped me pick up my game, truly. And it's good to have people that are capable of twisting your nipple, telling you what's wrong with their gun. You know, I mean, you need too many people get like extra cautious about offending me or some shit, and all I want to know is the truth, you know. And these guys will tell it to me.
That's what we're
Well,
here for.
oh God, what kind
Big
of
party.
let me change that. That banner.
I
looks
said
too
that's
blurry.
what we're here for, Mark.
Yep.
Tell it how it is.
There we go.
We're here to
No.
twist that nipple up.
So
Well, you
Mark,
wouldn't want to be somewhere else on Friday night.
speaking of nipples, we should probably talk about how we all met. I'll go first, how you and I started communicating, and then I'd love to hear everyone else's story, how they got tangled up in your web. I want to say, well, I talk about you in a lot of videos over the years, just followed your lineage for a long, long time. You and I began talking, I want to say it was right after the Illinois assault weapons ban. And if I remember correctly, you were talking to Tony, my business partner, Krebs Custom, shout out, and you were telling him that times were interesting because of that law, you basically lost all local foot traffic. The guns you sold weren't legal to locals anymore, so now you had to divert to trying to completely move to online sales, and it was a massive blow to the bottom line, and it sucked. So that's how we started talking. I was already a huge fan. I already had a bunch of your stuff, and we started talking about maybe how to try to get your name out there more now that you had to go strictly 100% online to online sales. So we got you involved with Kalash Bash and tried to, like, in my opinion, reintroduce you into the wild and try to put you in front of a whole new audience that might not have known who you were, and or maybe reawaken people that heard about you years ago that might have kind of fallen off. So that's how you and I got involved, started reviewing the Mini Baril and the M23 and some other things and Kalash Bash. So, and it's been really cool ever since. But that is how Mark and I kind of got tangled up together. And pinch myself moment, because I'm telling you, this is the guy that I used to look up to big time back in the day, years ago, going over 10 years ago. Wow, it's been that long. Like 2014, 2015, I would look at the Krebs website at all these Saigas that he was modifying, and the Vepers and the AC-18s and the AC-15s and the Assneck SBRs, and holy shit, I can't even believe this guy knows who I am now. Like, that is what Mark Krebs means to me. So it's been so special to me working with Mark this whole time. So yeah, that's our background.
Yeah, I guess I'll go next. But for us, it was at KCON, 2 KCONs ago. Riding around in the golf cart, popping wheelies, stuff like that. And I don't know, we kind of just got into convo, started talking about a Jeep that he had around the house. So that got into a big convo of like, I'm going to take on working on this Jeep, and kind of started doing little things. And he started working on a Baril for me, and being able to hang out with him and learn. Like, I'm going to be honest, I knew about Krebs as a company. I didn't know about Mark Krebs as a person for a long time. Like, this is somewhat recent. So when I put that together, I met the man. I started seeing what he's about, what he does at his shop, like behind closed doors that most people don't see. But it's amazing. This guy's just doing his thing. I had a little speed shop in Chicago years back, and I was like, I'll take on doing some work, and that kind of started a whole relationship of where we're at right now, and why we're on this podcast is all revolving around Mark. And
Yeah, he adopted me for my my dad gave me a Jeep before he died, gave me his Jeep, and Tommy got all on it, and now he's got like 5 times the work of what I've paid him so far, And
And by the way, if you guys want to follow Tommy,
that's my guy.
The Carbon R32 on Instagram, awesome channel, and
Right.
his pretty
Horse
wife
Love It
Manuela,
Cowboy.
they actually shoot all these matches. I don't want to get too deep into the weeds of how Tommy and I met, but fun story, KCON, all the different competitions, but it's been awesome. He's one of the most wholesome human beings, he and his wife, that Rachel and I have ever met. Love the guy to death. And it was so crazy that when this all worked out, Tommy was like, well, hold up. I lived less than 30 minutes from Mark Krebs this whole time. It was just crazy how the whole thing worked out. But yeah, the Carbon R32, if you guys want to go chase him down and spy on him. Pretty easy guy to find.
Thank you.
So, Jamie, how did you get tangled up with Mark?
I think it was, the first time I actually met you face to face and didn't just bug you on Instagram about random BS. It was KCON 3 years ago when you had the prototype. And I knew Mark was in Illinois, so he's a victim of the state like I am. And after that, I think it was the next KCON, I started talking to him a little more because he was riding around on the golf cart and I was begging him for rides. And then Tommy brought me to the shop one day, and then Mark was gracious enough to let me hang out every other weekend, and he yells at me for not knowing how to build rifles properly, but I'm trying to learn. And I love you, Mark. That's the gist of that.
Maybe actually does very well.
He's all right.
I didn't want this to turn into a mutual stroking party, but I.
Whip him out, boys.
No, he's a competent guy, and has done some things I couldn't do with installing hard parts. Correct.
Yeah, that's what she said.
I like to use hammers.
Has a YouTube channel as well. Midwest Savage, awesome. Really good coverage of KCON and a lot of other AK competitions. Mark's probably in some of those videos at KCON. Mark shot his first KCON this year, which was super cool. He stopped shooting early because he didn't want to take podium away from everyone. So that was awful nice of you, Mark. Appreciate that. Midwest Savage on YouTube and Instagram. Go check Jamie out. Mark, really quick, before we move on to show, I saw an old buddy of yours in the comment, El Tinda. One of the early YouTubers that I actually watched years ago of him hanging out with you at your shop. Really good old school coverage of Mark at his shop at the El Tinda channel. Pretty cool that he's here.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he needs to get back into doing more gun stuff.
Yeah, I wish he would. But he is good on the movies.
He's listening.
Some of the cheesiest horror movies I've ever seen, and some I have, which is unusual.
I know he's a big Masters of the Universe fan. I watch a lot of his videos. FU, thoughts on the AKV 521? I'm slightly R-worded. I don't know what that is off the top of my head. Maybe someone else in the chat does.
I don't know what a 521 is.
Mark, what's a 521? Go.
People get mad when I say that.
I don't know.
I don't know.
You met Kalashnikov. You know that shit. What is that?
Yeah, they got pistons,
AKV.
So thank you for the tip, dude, by the way. We'll think on that. We'll ponder the orb and try to figure out what the hell that is. I'll Google it. Remind me later.
We'll ask Jamie to Google
it. Show. So I would love.
Oh boy.
Before you tell your story, here's the thing. For some reason, myself, Rachel, Tony, and other people this whole time thought Mark was your dad, you were his son, and that was the relationship. I thought that for at least 2 years. I didn't see the relation at all, but
no, it's just embarrassing. He is my son.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so my story dates back. So El Tenda's in here, but so what was this? Almost like 7 years now, I think. It started with, if anyone remembers, with Maureen's raffle. When was that, Mark? Wasn't that about like 7 years ago?
Yeah, my head gunsmith's wife was having open heart surgery, and so we had a raffle, and we got this one guy, because I'm asking businesses and stuff, and we get this one thing of like 6 Bulgarian magazines and some other kind of cool shit.
So what it was
do you remember what it was exactly?
And well, it was Circle 10 mags and some steel bulgies. So what I did back then, I had a shit ton of Circle 10s, like a lot. I came across through my local pawn shop a guy who was trying to sell them off, and the pawn shop wouldn't take it. So I just happened to be there, asked him how many he had. He unloaded. I couldn't tell you how many cases of them. For $200, I had a shit ton of Circle 10s. So I always just, I don't know, just out of generosity, just gave them away. And I seen Mark's raffle pop up, and I always followed him. And, I didn't really, it's one of those things. I never bought his guns or anything, but I always had his safeties. But when the raffle popped up, I just happened to notice, I seen that nobody was really donating as I thought they would. Like I thought, it's Mark Krebs. I thought, man, all these monster companies are going to come in and do a great raffle. It's going to be good. And I was just like, there's really not that many donations going on. And I was like, well, maybe I'll throw something in there. And so anonymously, I just, I messaged and I said, hey, and I think it was Tim at the time that was running your Instagram.
Yeah,
I
right.
messaged, and he said, I asked him if I could donate just some mags anonymously just to get them out there. And he's like, yeah, sure. And that was the initial input that I put, towards Mark. And there was nothing to come of that. I didn't expect nothing out of it or anything, but that was my first contact with Krebs personally. And so, the raffle went by and everyone got their stuff, which was cool and all. Mark sent me a care package in return. We talked on the phone and you said, I'll send you a care package at least. So he gave me, shirt, hat, all that stuff. Well, then a little time went by, and most of you guys know I have my tool. Well, whenever I first made my first prototype of my tool, Mark messages me. He said, I think he said you told me to make you like 500 of them. And I was like, that was before I produced them. And so we got to talking about it, and then we spoke on the phone, and he said, wait, your name sounds familiar. Where do I know you from? And I said, probably Maureen's raffle. And he's like, oh, yeah. So
Show's a pretty common name.
Yeah, there you go. The tool right there.
There's Show's beautiful tool.
That's Gen 1. Yep.
Talking about his wiener.
Yeah. I wasn't going to go there.
So, yeah. So once I made the tool, it kind of, Mark took a liking to it. And then we just, I guess, became business associates. And then next thing you know, here I am. That's kind of about it.
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw your tool. I think that's how we met.
It was in a porta potty at
I saw your tool at Kalash Bash, actually. By the way, Fit and Fire tips $10. Mark, Show, Midwest and Tommy, and awesome live chat crew. Love y'all.
What a guy.
I'm in a group chat called the Shill Guild for obvious reasons, because I'm a huge one. And Mark's in that group chat. So he's one of the OGs. Best looking dude in that chat.
I'm envious of his hair. I'm not going to lie. That's why I wear a hat.
Yeah. M26 lemon grenade in the chat.
I
forgot. My bad. Show, how could I leave you hanging like that? Stand by. Stand the hell
by.
Yeah,
you got to show it.
Yes, go follow Show.
Put up his deets, dude.
Yeah, 1911 by my bad. First of all, lower your voice, Jamie.
Sorry, I'm a little too close to the
by 39 on Instagram. Yeah, I was even for some reason I even thought like you worked at the shop with Krebs, but
to this day everybody's still
like yesterday years old when I figured out you didn't even live in the same state as Mark.
Yeah.
So
well, actually, tomorrow I'm going to rope him into a little bit of production work. He's going to find it fascinating.
So, Show, is there technically like a Krebs Custom shooting team? Are you the only sponsored shooter? How does that work? I've seen the jerseys. And I know that you've been running the M23 for a while.
So as far the team's not even me. This is This is Paul. Well, that's Jamie. It's the other three.
Jamie.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's the AK all day team.
These guys see me as an old lodger aging away, and they do anything to help me, and it's like fucking amazing. It truly is.
Look,
yeah. So I've been running. So that's the
very
one.
supportive group of people.
So the one I'm running is still the prototype one. So it's the one that you showed off, or you got to play with originally, Clay, and that's the one I'm still running. It's got the prototype left-hand charging on it, the prototype mag release on there. It does not have the spring kicker like that everyone else has. It's a 14.5 pin and weld.
Does that Glock have a switch?
We're not going to talk about that.
Okay.
That's my K-Con setup there.
You ran a switch at K-Con?
I let off pretty quick, so I'm good.
Do you have the picture on here of your offset irons that like broke the internet the other day?
Oh yeah,
I know it's on your Facebook.
I think I just posted it in my stories, honestly.
Gay.
And it's unfortunate.
The offset iron sights were like breaking the internet.
Yeah, so I'm running. So on top rail, my primary are the Scalworks Peaks, the Pico ones. They're great sights to use. They suck running against guys like you with standard AK sights. Running those A2 style irons suck on it. But so after Masters, I realized I can't, with those sights, I just cannot do anything run and gun. Like, it is just horrible. And I decided I had the Occam Defense sights, the PH2s. So I just figured, I'm going to throw them offset and have something for close range and keep my top irons for further stuff. But that gun, so that's over 10K now since I've got it, which it's running them. It ran great up until K-Con, where I had the carrier tail mushroom so bad that it stuck to the rear and pulled the recoil spring guide rod back into the dust cover, flipped the dust cover up, had a massive malfunction, re-ran a stage because of it. But after that, filed it. It's been running great since. Needs to go back to get fixed, and Mark's been on me about that, but haven't done that yet.
My fault.
It just, for some reason,
I just did Clark's gun and weld up the tip with tool steel. Yeah, baby.
Are you sure that wasn't operator error though, Mark?
I can't scratch it. Huh?
Don't you think on Show's part that was probably more so operator error?
It was upkeep.
Joe, you're still on the first fire.
No, I would say it was designer error. No, it was me. We've since redesigned the hammer, and it's good now.
So to Mark's defense, though,
that chews them up.
That
10,000 rounds ain't anything to sneeze at.
Yeah. I mean, it's got plenty of rounds through it, and if that's my major issue so far after over 10K plus whatever everyone else who's played with it before me, however many rounds went through it before that, if it survived all that, I mean, that says it all. It's great, and it still runs. I'm one of those dudes. A lot of the guys who know me, I'm one of those guys who don't necessarily upkeep my guns the best, and
yeah. Or even cleaning. Look at them.
Yeah, I don't. I just run them. But
we may even make that an upgrade. I don't know how to do it yet without painstaking stuff, but it's something we could do that would end any ALG ills,
But yeah, that's really the big issue. It's not on Mark's end of it. It's more of an ALG hardness issue, and they'll do it. ALG will do it to any gun.
I knew what they did. It's the standard now. Unfortunately, I can't run things necessarily the way I want to. I've got to run with what everybody wants. To a degree. I'm not going to do it. Well, I guess they did do it for the sake of reliability, but we know how to prevent it. And the redesign of the hammer in itself, we do 3 new machine cuts on them and polish them. So they're a completely different profile from those hammers, and we've only experienced them on the hammers that we never had a problem with on 7.62 for some reason, but that leading edge on the top cut is what gouges it out, and we eliminated that. And then, like I say, if we have problems, we can tip it with tool steel, and it takes care of that completely.
Hey, Mark. So remember earlier when we were setting up the stream, you had a couple questions, and one of your questions was, can people call into the stream, kind of like an old public access TV show? And I said no, but they comment, and we can see the comments live. So there's a couple of questions in the comment section. I wanted to get your opinion on if you had time.
Yeah.
Okay, first question is from Mars. He tips $4.99. He wants to know, Mark, what's your opinion on the Wasser 1063 and cheese grater upper hand guards? How do you feel about those?
Put them on if you like them. You know, it's not. They get a little bit hotter on tongue, but they ventilate the gun better. So there's pros and cons to that. And then Wasser, I don't know exactly what Wasser he's talking about, but I mean, if it's Wasser 10,
the regular old Wasser,
they're good guns, and they've actually improved, I think, because I believe they used seconds for many years of second parts, and now it seems like they're straight up, at least the ones I've seen. I don't encounter them a lot, though we do order them for customers and whatnot.
Great answer, Mark. There's one more question from Tusk 3 or Tusk the Third. He tips $9.99. The question is wiping. Do you wipe sitting down or standing? What are your thoughts? Cheers, boys. So show of hands when you're done taking a deuce. If you wipe your butt sitting down, raise your hand.
Sitting down?
Sitting down. Show of hands. No judgment.
Oh, no. I don't give a shit.
Okay.
No pun intended.
All right. Raise your hand if you wipe your butt standing up.
That'd be me, yeah.
Looks like your pants to your ankles?
All right,
really?
Joe, you're out of here. What an animal. Nobody does that.
Dude, I got in an argument with a guy at work about this.
Okay.
All right, Joe, you can come back. But
He
just
was a
know
stand.
that's not normal. So not.
It's
This is a question
weird.
that comes up in a lot of
I know that.
It's like
fucking weird.
finding out one of your friends is a vampire and they've been
I
walking among you this whole
know that
time.
we had this podcast had I known this ahead of time.
Mark would have wiped properly before this.
I'm just okay. Well, now you know, Tusk. At least 2 people on this chat live like animals. So there you go. Thanks for the tip.
Yeah, God meant you to have a toilet under your ass. Whatever. Okay. Next question.
All right, that's it for now. So I thought we would take some time because we have Mark here and his time is very valuable. He almost didn't even come on tonight. I wanted to get into the history of Krebs Custom, where you got started, kind of the whole lineage of it, the past. We'll talk about what you have going on now, and then eventually we'll talk about maybe what are the plans for the future of Krebs Custom. Hopefully wiping sitting down is a part of your future plans. I hope. The chat hopes. So, Mark, you remember not too long ago, I told you I asked ChatGPT to basically tell me, I used AI to tell me the entire history of Mark Krebs, and it was pretty spot on. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I mean, I did read some stuff and I was a little bit amazed at the detail. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to read you the first paragraph that ChatGPT came up with, and maybe you can tell me if it got it right or if it got it wrong about your history.
Okay.
From pistolsmith to AK art. raised between San Francisco and Mexico. Mark Krebs, reflecting his
World War II.
Huh. Okay.
Cool.
Ask ChatGPT if they really drove that wagon.
Yeah, does it know about the wagon?
Were you
wagon? Yeah, actually, it was.
Were you really named after an artist? Is that true?
Yeah.
Wow.
What?
That's creepy. That's creepy.
Yeah. So even Tommy Frick. My parents were liberals. I'm sorry, you know, but I mean, yeah. No, he's famous for, you know, drawing a picture of Jesus upside down on a crucifix. I mean, he's a jerk off.
It's so funny, Mark, because
other than that, I don't really have.
we all talked before you were on earlier reading this, and we thought it was they got all that wrong. That's crazy.
Yeah, we
I
thought
have no
that
idea how
was
it knows any of that.
completely off.
All right. Well, I'm going to assume the rest of this is totally true. So one thing that I have to know, I talked about it in my M23 video, the gunsmith that you apprenticed under, Bob Dunlop. Can you tell me a little bit about him and what it was like apprenticing in the 80s in a gunsmithing college?
Yeah. I had two teachers. One was a good teacher, but it was kind of tit for tat. You learn this, you learn that. And Dunlap seemed to like connect the dots, and he taught the design function and repair classes. And he was just a really neat guy. And I stayed in touch until he died, which wasn't too long ago. But Bob Dunlap was truly a talented gunsmith and could be a little bit ornery, but good guy. Very good guy.
Good guy. Hey, if anyone's having audio in the chat, hop back out, jump back into the live stream. That seems to fix it. Yeah, so I did a little research on Bob. I saw a picture of him. How old do you think he was when you were taking the class in the 80s? Was he already a fairly old gentleman at the time?
He was well, he was to be then. He was in his 50s, I think. You know, but that's young. At least to me now, you know.
So I know nowadays we all hear about like the Sonoran Desert Institute and these like 6-month gunsmithing degrees. How long were you in school for gunsmithing, and how is it different than maybe some of these online courses people are taking now? What was it like in the 80s going to gunsmithing school?
Well, you know, I don't want to discredit any of the other ones because I really don't know a lot about them, you know. And I went to school for 3.5, 4 years, you know, and it was cool. I learned a shitload there. And Dunlap was a lot of the reason why, because understanding how guns work is the key to understanding how to fix them, and then also how to make them better, you know. And that was very key in my learning. And then so that every time you saw a gun, the first thing you did was you disassembled it. You understood what type of, you know, was it short recoil, gas operated, blah, 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 disconnect systems and all that shit. And he'd fuck with you and make you follow. Like the A5 is a bitch. It's got a lot of moving parts, Browning A5 shotgun. And he'd chase you around in there and fuck with you. He goes, well, yeah, but then what if that's too short or that's not timing? And he'd just work you. And it was, I enjoyed it. I really liked his classes because it was challenging. And sometimes me and my study buddy would go after him, and he'd try to, you know, make it hard for us. And it was. But he gave you credit when it was due, you know. It was pretty cool.
So when you were in school, did you feel like there was any natural talent? Because it seems like when the 90s came around, you were already becoming a well-known pistol smith. So in the 80s, was there like natural talent? Did you stand out in the class above other students where you just knew right away this was a field you were going to excel
I
in?
did to some degree because I built a semi-automatic rifle, which nobody done, and then the other, I'd worked in machine shops for a year prior to that, and I spent 6 months on a cutoff saw, deburring plates and crap like that with file, and you get good with it after a while. I mean, you pull that fucker across there and get smoke off it, and you get good with it, and that's a lot of the first steps there were filing projects and crap like that, and those things I did good in. And then it took me a little bit to catch on with firearms, but then once it started to break, it was cascading. It was good.
Yeah, I want to show people. You sent me a picture. I should have had this ready to go. You sent me a picture of the gun that you built when you were in college. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, the KD4. Yeah.
I want to see this.
Yeah, he sent this to me. It looked like
over the world.
Yeah.
What was the model?
Big pardon?
What did you name it? What was the model?
KD3 or KD4.
Look at that fancy thing.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh yeah.
You still got it?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to play with that.
Okay, yeah, I need to see this thing.
Yeah, right.
So it looks like it takes one of those Uzi mags. So it's
Yeah.
9mm.
Yeah, it's an Uzi mag, and it's got a grip safety, a thumb safety, external transfer barb, which could be kind of dangerous. And then
Does it go full
it's
turbo
got
now?
2 ejector slots in it because it was going straight up when I first did it and malfunctioning, so I had to put it on the side.
Everyone wants to know, Mark, is it full semi-auto?
It is full semi-auto.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Of course it is.
Oh, Altenda said he saw it at the shop. So it's at the shop still?
Yeah. No, it's striker fire gun. It's completely legal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We get it.
Though I will say, back then, that was before the Mac 10 rule about open bolts, and the first version was open bolt, and people got kicked out of the class. It was very strict, got kicked out of school for stuff, and it didn't have the back section. It was just the tube, and I was pressing on the sear itself. And it locked up, and I dumped the mag. And it was stupid because there wasn't a mag release in the gun either. So all I had to do was just drop the mag, and it would have stopped running. But I froze and dumped the mag in front of God and everyone, and thought, "Holy shit, I'm gonna get kicked out of gunsmith school."
Hell yeah.
What a
Well,
beautiful
so
thing.
At least I knew it ran.
so that's pretty crazy. For how old were you? You don't have to tell me if you're not comfortable. At what age did you put this together? Satellites are linking up.
25 or 26.
25. You know what I was doing when I was 25? Not stuff like this.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Well,
Get in trouble racing cars.
no, you were just building empires and crap like that, and
On
awesome
Grand Theft
social
Auto,
media
maybe.
presence,
Yeah, no, definitely
Other
not.
than that, you'd be sitting on your hands.
Well, so I wanted to get into. I got a picture here, and I want some background on this photo, and then then we'll take some questions from our chat. But you graduate from college, you go into business for yourself, or did you go to a gun shop for a little while before getting your own place?
First place I worked at was in '85, and that was the Marksman. And I went in and I said, I'd like to be an apprentice gunsmith. And they said, yeah, you can be our gunsmith. And I said, yeah, sure, I'll apprentice, you know. And no, you'll be the gunsmith. And I'm like, holy shit. And they stuffed me in there. And then, I mean, at first it was bad, $35 a day. We only had one car, so I'd have to like walk to the hardware store if I need shit. And it was rough going at first.
And this is mid to late 80s?
You say 85?
No, 85, 86.
Okay. So at what point do you get your own place? And at what point is the Krebs Custom a thing? When does that become established?
When we started making pistols, and that was probably 90.
Okay.
Or shortly thereafter.
So I want to show you a picture, and I was kind of hoping you can give me some background about this handsome fella.
Shit. Look at that handsome devil.
Bam.
Look at the stash on that thing.
So
what mustache rides
what
on that
time
thing.
frame are we here? Where are we, and what's the time frame? Mark?
Yeah, I'm trying to think about it here.
Rachel's dying from like
I'm not sure what
not
shop
to.
that is. That toolbox I built to go to gunsmith in school. Everybody told me it looked like a nice dresser, but I don't know. That could be in the shop. We've got. Fuck.
This has to be early 90s, I would think.
With that mustache, dude, this may be late 80s.
That's when I went to Barton Sports.
I'd say anywhere between 88 and 91.
And that was about 90s, yeah. And I worked at Barton Sports Center for about 5 years. We worked on like over 11,000 guns. We fixed over 11,000 guns. It's a trip, man. And you see one walk in once a month that you ain't never seen before, you know.
Yeah,
I'll tell you, the general gunsmith gets the least respect and the most work. You know, I mean,
unless you have a mustache like that.
I'm saying, dude.
That's
a solid. Is that a mullet?
Everybody thought I was Russian when I went to Russia.
That's a mullet for sure.
That looks like the type of dude that I would wake up on a Sunday morning. My mom brought home on a Saturday.
Oh, dude,
that just looks like a
he's
solid
whipping his
dude.
hair back and forth back in them days.
Thanks, asshole.
Hell yeah.
Maybe I was
standing for the super fans.
Were you married at this time? Or not yet.
Locked
him down. Locked down. Tomcat on the prowl.
No, Virginia helped me with everything. I mean, we went to a match. The Nationals, I believe it was. No, it was an area match in like Missouri. Anyway, we like reconned Richard Heine, you know, and got him down. Who was he makes sights now, and he was an avid pistol builder back when. And we wanted him to see our gun, and he was one of our sponsors getting into the guild and all that stuff. And no, we did. I've taken my wife to all the most beautiful cow pastures in the United States. I'm telling you. I mean, she's put a lot of hard work in, and she never gets any of the glory, you know. But she should.
Well, everyone, drop a big hell yeah in the chat for Virginia.
Hell yeah.
Without Virginia, the stream, believe it or not, the stream would not be possible without Virginia. So
Yes.
lying.
down in the chat.
That is true. That is true.
100% true.
Mark, we have another question, another tip from the comments. I wanted to not necessarily gun related. So I don't mean to derail you, but this gentleman tipped $10.
I love those how do you wipe your ass questions. Get on the edge of my chair for yes. What can I expound on?
So
anyway,
the same cultured gentleman that asked you how you wipe your ass also wants to know, Mr. Krebs, what is the best concert you've ever been to, and what other passions do you have besides firearms and gunsmithing? More of these live streams, please.
I have almost no guns. I'm trying to widen that up. And the best concert I think I ever saw was Taj Mahal and Van Morrison. And Taj Mahal did such a fucking good job that it pissed off Van Morrison. He came on, played 6 songs, and split. But it didn't matter. Taj Mahal took the fucking place down. And that was in Lunarland in San Francisco.
Okay, so this
is like 70 something.
Yeah, it's a while back.
San Francisco in the 70s, baby.
Yeah.
Mark's stash.
We need to see a 70s stash from Mark.
Yeah.
Wow, hell yeah. Okay, so no.
I've got a couple of embarrassing pictures that I wouldn't even let you guys see.
Well, so I wanted to open the floor if anyone else had any more questions before we get into basically like Krebs getting his own shop and getting into pistol smithing. So we're going to save that. So if anyone has any questions for Mark, drop them now, and we'll try to ask a few. And then we'll get into Krebs really taking off in the 90s, which is a pretty cool story.
Mark, we're not going to a commercial or nothing.
Everyone,
for questions.
Everyone's still, hell yes. Everyone, hell yeah.
Clay, I just got to ask while we're waiting for questions, where is your Krebs t-shirt at?
I don't have one. He never gave me one.
What? I'll take care of that tomorrow. Don't worry.
Yeah,
I will take care of that. What color you want, buddy?
Mark, a black one.
All right.
Mark, what the hell is wrong with P320?
Wait, what happened?
Yeah.
First question, Mark. What the hell is wrong with the SIG P320?
The what?
All right, next question.
P320.
All right, perfect.
Here.
They try to build too much too fast.
Too much too fast.
Love it.
Yep. Simple.
Mark, are you able to sell to California people if we provide the stupid shark fin grip? Do you make California compliant guns?
God-given duty.
Hell yeah.
Man of the people. That's what I'm talking about.
No, I'm from California, dude.
Yeah,
I
remember.
I heard it. ChatGPT told us. Yeah, between San Diego,
California, all they want. When they banned the assault rifles, they got 5 of them. Did I mean, California is an unfortunate place where the backbone of California is not represented by the people on the coast.
I heard that.
They're all worried about that stuff that we know about and probably don't want to talk about.
John Curtis says, I bought a Krebs AK-74 14-inch pin muzzle. I would do quick point triple taps, and people at the range would ask me if it's a class 3 rifle. Now the M23 and the 9x39 pistol are not just works of art, but can run. So apparently John owns several of your guns. And I got to say, man, after having...
thank you very much, Don.
After personally shooting a bunch of your guns, I have to say, I know you tumble parts and you work on triggers, but the smoothness level of those things is honestly second to none from any stamped AKs I've ever felt.
Yeah, well...
You're telling me your Pioneer isn't that smooth?
Like butter.
Yeah. I don't want to give it away. I know H-Town.
But the Pioneer,
H-Town has a Pioneer Arms video Sunday. I'll just keep an eye out for that one.
Check it out.
check that out. Mark from Kevin. Mark, what is your opinion on the people at Kel-Tec? What's up with those mad lads over at Kel-Tec and all their crazy designs? Do you pay attention to that at all?
I am a true admirer of his. I wish he'd spend more time on each individual one, but he comes up with bitchin' ideas. I mean, a double column or a quad column mag that works in 22. That's freaking amazing. And the engineering behind that is, and you can't really load them wrong. They're easy to load and they're not hard to keep reliable because, as you know, I mean, any 22 that gets a rim behind or in front of the one underneath it in front of, you'll have a malfunction, And he's a very clever dude. And he's the same dude that built the Tech 9. Not that any of you remember what the Tech 9 was, probably, but back in the Mac 10 days.
You're telling me one of the designers at Kel-Tec is the same guy that made the Tech 9?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
He told me that when he pulled out his little.
He has always been on a cutting edge, but he is a little out there in execution sometimes. But I own a couple of his things. I think they're freaking neat, and sometimes I just own stuff because I think it's neat. And that 22 is reliable as shit,
Hell yeah.
I like small caliber guns.
The Big PW wants to know, Mark, what were some common guns that you were working on while you were in college?
An assortment of all of them. The whole thing was in design, function, and repair. I suppose I could look back in my notes and stuff and tell you all of it, but they were about smooth and tuning Colts and Smith and Wessons, and then design, function, and repair, and then the shotguns, bolt guns, all of them. I mean, it was an inclusive
hunting rifles.
Because it was like 3 or 4 years, so I'm sure it was a little bit of everything. Would you ever work on Tech 9s in college?
Inletting. I beg your pardon?
Were Tech 9s around when you were in college?
Oh, yeah.
Did y'all work on those, or were they considered like gangster guns, not worth the time?
Well, I bought a Mac 10 when I was down there. $250 in the box.
I'm gonna ask Rachel for another drink on that one. Hey, babe, can I get a tippy top? Little tip. Top.
Tippy top.
Ring the bell.
Freedom Seeds. I know Freedom Seeds owns an M23. Pretty sure he does. Tips $50 freaking dollars and says, "Let's talk about buttered sausage."
You've been putting in some overtime, it sounds like.
Also, he says that he left his Krebs shirt at your booth at Clash Bash, so I think you owe him a Krebs shirt.
Well, tell him to call me.
You heard it. I'll give him your personal number later. Thanks for the tip, dude. It was way too much. Chill out.
He wants to talk to Mark.
Yeah. This dude's awesome.
I assume we took the money.
I've shot KCON with him. He gave me some subsonic rounds one time that I still have. I'm down to my last box, bro. You've been providing subs for like the past 2 years. Thank you, my love. You've been providing subs for like the past 2 years, and I'm still getting through them. So thanks, bro. Huge help.
$50. We got to talk about sausage at least one sentence.
Yeah, buttered sausage. Mark, go. You talk now.
Mark, are you a patty man or a link kind of guy when it comes to breakfast sausage? Well, you got to talk about it.
Man, would you quit asking me that shit?
He paid $50.
He paid $50. And he owns an M23.
Dude. I mean, I like links.
That's what I thought. You seem like a link man.
Word.
Even though I'm low enough on the human spectrum to wipe my ass standing up.
Yeah, I did not know that. Sorry, my bad. Okay, Mark, from that guy, Opossum Clark, he wants to know, next to AKs, what is your second favorite rifle platform? Thank you, dear.
Oh boy, I don't know. That's a hard one.
Okay, maybe not just rifles. What is next to AKs? What is the number 2 gun for you?
Well, I have a deep love for Swedish Ks. I do that, and then the other, I don't know. There's tons of good guns out there.
High Point.
I'd say the BAR or SIG.
Not a 320.
Oh, the SIG 550. Yeah. You've worked on those before, have you not?
I beg your pardon?
Weren't you just telling me the other day that you've worked on a lot of SIG 550s before?
Yeah, I have a lot of stuff to build. I kind of lost interest. Yeah, they're if you look at the bolt carrier, it's almost verbatim AK carrier, and they did things like make the extractor smaller. And then I found out when I went to SIG school that you have to replace extractors and shit. You don't have to replace extractors on AKs. I mean, after maybe super long use, but I've never had to replace one really.
I mean, if
no, that's not true.
I agree,
probably replaced a couple.
I think I agree with you. SIG 550s are kind of trash, and they look terrible. H-Town Werewolf, I think you just bought one for like $4,500.
Jeez.
Bad choice. You heard it from
overtime.
Not good.
45.
Why isn't H-Town dropping 50 and 100 bombs in here?
He even bought it from Michiko. You got to sell it. You got to sell
got the upsell.
Man,
4,500.
Cool rifles, and
Mark,
dunking
on the 550. I didn't see that one coming.
But it paid for the luxury. I mean, and you put a different op handle, like aftermarket op handle, tear the little rubber lips off, shit like that pisses you off.
Oh, dude, H-Town.
I even have the tool to put those in.
Out. Oh, damn.
And don't call me.
Fancy ass gun with a rubber charging handle. Did you hear that, H-Town?
Yeah, that's the other thing. They peel through the steel, the rubber wood. And that was another thing that sucked about them.
They're terrible.
So they had, if you can maintain them, if they're a fully maintained gun, lots of parts, all that shit, everything's good. But
you don't have to butter us up, Mark. I agree.
That's why I like AKs, because there's not much you got to worry about after you build them.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, last question, and then we're going to get back into your story here. FPS Joe wants to know, how do you feel about the late, great KUSA?
Guns.
Well,
Jamie, don't shut up, Jamie.
I'm just saying.
The
KUSA guns.
There you go.
Not the drama or the company. How do you feel about their guns?
Well, the first ones were nice, seemed like. And then afterwards, I heard stories about bolts not holding up and stuff like that. And
see, Jamie?
Whatever.
Nah.
That video that you made.
Those things are tanks.
And I
think
less
Mark
than
probably knows
honest
what he's talking
people
about.
in the end.
Probably.
All right. Well, let me see here. I think we've got. Let me get to Larry's last question. Then we're going to get back. Save your questions. We'll come back to it in a little bit if I didn't get to it. Let me see here. Larry tips $20. Dude, you guys need to chill. Would Krebs ever do his version of a PP19 in 9x19? The market is thirsty for one. Mark, would you ever do your own version of a PP19? I can show you a picture.
This is going to impress you. I don't know what one is.
No, if you see the picture, you'll know, Mark.
Yeah, just stand by.
Mark's a visual guy.
Yeah.
The Bison, the helical mag Bison.
Oh, that's cool. Actually, I shot that one in Russia.
Oh, bragging.
Oh,
over
way
here.
to flex on everyone.
Yeah,
Mark.
right?
Don't
And
accept
TV.
Oh, well.
vacation yet.
Over in Russia, I shot one of those.
It was after lunch at so
Yeah,
and so.
with Kalashnikov.
Yeah.
He wasn't there.
There you go, Larry.
Yeah, and we shot a K98, which I know sounds a lot like a German gun, but that was their new sniper rifle at the time. And
Shout out. No big deal.
actually got a 3/8 group with that fucker. I couldn't believe it. I kept pulling the trigger, and like something's wrong there. They all seem to be going in the same spot, you know. And
I think I have a picture
yeah,
of that.
3/8 group. So
So to
that-
answer
So
that
your,
would you ever build a
Hey,
Mark?
I beg your pardon?
would you ever build a PP-19 like what you're seeing on the screen? Could you pull something like
I
that off?
don't know. I kind of don't think so. And they've got conversions out there for them. We're kind of going after our own thing, you know. I can't say I wouldn't like to put one together, you know, if I could get a kit. But
Is this the sniper you were talking about? Kind of looks like
yeah,
a Mosin or something.
that's David Fortier shooting it.
Bro, my man's wearing his shirt's tucked in.
Yeah, dude, he's serious.
Shooting us freaking suppressed snipers. He got a tie on and
that
everything.
tie
I bet he never even untucked his shirt to do that.
That was
just
right after
made
the
it
morning
on.
meeting.
Yeah, he just made a deal at the meeting.
Yeah.
He was like, merge the two companies. He was taking a call while he was doing this. Just merge. I don't know what to tell you.
Bye.
I got stock options as he takes a shot. We'll get to the Russian trip. That's like a whole segment we're gonna get into. We'll get there. I promise you. All right, Larry. I hope that answered your question. He just flexed on you and said, "Yeah, I shot one." Where they
Yeah,
made it.
in Russia.
I'm sorry. Yeah, probably not, and I'm sorry to say, but
So, Mark, let's take it back to the late 80s, early 90s. When did you found Krebs Custom? When did it become a company? And when did you get your first shop? And where was that first shop?
at the Marksman in '85, and I had to get my own FFL. So I guess that's when it started unofficially. Then I think later on, when we started specializing more, we got into Krebs Custom guns and stuff like that. Before it was just Krebs Custom gunsmithing.
So early 90s, the best I can trace, it was early to mid 90s. You joined the Pistol Smith Guild and started modifying 1911s, and I believe you even started shooting pistol competitions and started modifying pistols for other guys, shooting competitions at a pretty high level, and eventually became a pretty well-known, famous pistol smith, specifically for 1911s. I got to know how all that started, and I've got some cool pictures I wanted to show too.
I wondered if I could do it, and I wanted to do it and check it out. And it was kind of hard, but it taught me a real good lesson about guns and reliability. And that, if you don't have a gun that can shoot 1,000 out of 1,000, you don't have a gun, and that's what you need. And it doesn't matter if it's comp gun. I mean, comp guns have a little bit different rules. You got to keep them wet and shit like that. But I mean, reliability is king, and all the rest falls after that, which are ergonomics, and that can make a huge difference.
So when would you say you were approached the first time for a magazine spread? Because if anyone were to Google search like Krebs Custom 1911, you're gonna find some pretty gnarly shit, some crazy nice custom 1911s.
Mhm.
When was like the first magazine spread where you were noticed by your pistol work, where they wanted to do a full feature on it? What do you remember the first time that happened? Maybe what the magazine was?
No.
Damn.
Impressive, huh?
I want to bring up a pistol on screen that is absolutely insane looking, and then I want to talk about it for a second, and then I want to talk about probably one of the coolest pistols I've ever seen. First up, you call this the Dragon Gun, and it's this insane 1911. Let me get it up on screen here.
It's actually got a good story behind it.
Okay. Ooh, here we go. So this is actually a magazine spread. This has to be, I don't know what year this is. This is very 90s. There's a full article about
Gun Games magazine.
what was the name?
Actually, I just talked to the editor of it. It's defunct now, but
so it's called the Dragon Gun. It has an insane front end with a comp. It literally has like a dragon mouth, and if you can see in the picture here,
Yeah.
it has like a dragon tongue hanging out of the front of it with STI grips, a freaking Seymour red dot. Please explain this to us.
Well, what that was, I got that gun, and I was under deadline to make a speed gun for an Ichiro Nagata, who is a photographer that you probably don't hear about much more, but was
What was his name?
Ichiro Nagata.
Was he Chinese or Japanese?
And
Japanese.
excellent photographer and avid shooter. And he wanted to shoot this at the goddamn, I forget. It was a big steel event. And the gun weighed like very little. And the whole front of the slide was cut away, and then the barrel actually, I'm pointing at the picture like you guys can see it. But the you got a picture of the underside of the gun?
The underside?
Yeah.
Well, let me see. You have one here. I'll download it. There's a picture here in the article that has a little bit of everything. Let me download that and I'll pull it up on the big screen. Okay, go ahead.
All right. That one tracks on that little slot on the bottom of the slide. So we were able to cut all the rest of the slide away. And the part directly under the barrel is made out of aluminum. And then the little T-slot portion on the bottom is steel. And what happened was that gun came in, and I was on deadline, and I never seen anything like it. The inside of the frame was correct, but the outside of the frame tilted to the left. It was freaking obvious. And so I'm like, my head's in my hands. I'm like, God damn, I got to get this done. And so I decided to make a dragon out of it and break up the line so you couldn't tell. And he shot it at the Steel Championship. Damn, Steel Masters, something like that. I can't remember. It was, or maybe they did call it the Masters, and it was a steel event.
Sorry, it took me a second. So here you go. I see underneath here. You see this picture up here? It's got like these 4 portholes.
It's a hybrid barrel, and those are exhaust ports from the barrel.
Exhaust ports from the barrel. Okay, on the bottom.
So that whole slide is cut out completely.
They go straight up, and then there's 2 off to the side that
Got it. Okay, that's a comp. I'm looking at it wrong. That's the top of the slide. Got it.
Yeah, the bottom's got a little beard.
Oh, look at just the barrel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there's nothing left of that top slide, pretty much.
Yeah, you can see the slide on the upper left.
I'm pointing at it now.
Oh,
That's
right here.
crazy.
And that makes a huge difference on split times, you know.
I mean,
It's all
just
about the raw
way to
time.
slide, everything.
Bet you've had some good raw time in your day, Mark.
I beg pardon?
Yeah, you've shot. So you went through a period of shooting competition too, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was a high level B shooter, and I never did go into A class. But I shot, and you know, I mean, if you can't get your ass whooped by the best, don't go. You know, I mean, that's what makes you feel good when you place higher. You know.
So the dragon gun was awesome. One thing that pulls up a bunch, if people were to Google you, this thing called like the snakeskin 1911 or snakeskin checkering comes up a lot, which I think you're pretty famous for. I got a picture of a pistol here that, honestly, I'm not a huge 1911 guy, but I think anyone with half a brain would look at this pistol and think it's probably one of the most beautiful 1911s they've ever seen. It's featured in the 1997 issue of American Handgunner. And the only thing I know it as, I call it the snakeskin gun. They called it the steel serpent. What I learned about doing some research about you have this snakeskin checkering featured in this magazine that apparently you patent. You were the first one to do something like this. And even to this day, people still mimic something that you came up with.
Smith and Wesson.
Tell us about that. Can you talk to us about this pistol in particular?
Yeah, it's a pistol that I built for a customer, and customer got mad at me because it didn't make a certain class. He said it didn't work, but it did, and I bought it back from him, that and another gun, and which was really a big hit at the time. I mean, that was all our funds, and buy those two guns back. And I wiped out the upper end on it. I screwed up the last row of snakeskin, and I was doing all this by hand on a dividing head.
Wow.
But I messed up the last row of snakeskin on the slide, and that sucked. That was, the barrel spit. If you know how they go together, that wipes out about $800 worth of work.
So that slide that we're looking at right now is the second attempt?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Man,
yeah,
I can only imagine it would be so badass to own a 1911 with Krebs Custom engraved on the freaking slide. That is so cool. I bet a lot of people in the chat didn't know that there are Krebs Custom 1911s floating out there that are like some top tier 1911s.
Yeah, they hold good prices. I was kind of impressed.
Do you ever maybe has there ever been a time where you've come across one hitting an auction, or maybe thought, I'd like to buy back one of those old 1911s I did back in the day? Do you ever see them come up for sale?
I see them come up for sale. I don't really want to buy one. I've been there and I've done that, and I don't, I mean, I got a gun, I shoot, that's important, but I mean, as far as owning them, and I mean, man, you work on them sons of bitches, it's like 40 hours goes into one of those, at least ours did, and God, it's like you're married to them. You just can't get away from it, and it's like I got over the part where I was able to do the work clean, and then I kind of transitioned more to new ideas and things like that excite me a lot more now. And I'm getting older, you know. I mean, 30 lines per inch, you know, hand filing, even though I did it by machine at the end, you know. But even that was just a colossal pain in the ass. And then competition shooters were always pushing their loads and blaming you on the malfunctions and crap like that. And I thought, God damn, you know, what if I made some parts for guns that there's a shitload of out there and like to work, you know? And I'd always had an affinity from AKs because when I went to gunsmithing school, my friend John Graham, who ended up being a captain of the Hobart Hotshot Smoke Jumpers, sold me my first rifle, which was a Valmet M71. And we'd go out rabbit hunting all night, and man, you bring the gun back, and it'd like frost up when you get in the house and shit like that. And mine never puked, and others did. And that was kind of the beginning of me and AKs. And also my gunsmithing teacher, Bob Dunlap, had a high opinion of them as a functioning gun.
Which could not have been a popular opinion in the 80s.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It wasn't doing too good in the 90s either. You know, people would bust your balls for $5. Well, I paid $95 for the gun, you know. Well, good, you got money you can spend on it then. I don't know, you know. I mean, I didn't look at it as a cheap way to shoot. I looked at it as one of the most reliable platforms on the planet, you know, and that's what kind of drove me.
Well, that leads us into the next part. So you kind of, I don't want to say you said you've been there, done that in the 90s with the 1911s, obviously reached a super high level with that. At what point did you get burned out doing certain things and AKs was just next on the list? When did you finally decide, okay, you know what? AKs are cool. I've got some cool ideas. Let's go full bore into that. How did that happen? I know it happened around the late 90s, around like 99 time frame, but what finally made you just pivot to just being
I got ill for a while
in the country?
And I went back to STI, who I'd helped with promoing, you know, for first 6 months to a year. And they said, no problem, Mike, just order $2,500 worth of shit and we'll get you going. And I was like, oh. And I said, didn't like that. And that's when I got the idea about working on something that was plentiful, reliable, and honestly has provided the best crowd I have ever worked with, bar none. General gunsmithing or competition pistol. And I'm not saying bad things about those people. I'm just saying the crowd, nobody ever yells, nobody ever nothing, you know. I mean, it's all, you know, and then we take care of them, which you should do, right?
So it's 1999, it's 2000, and you're in your own shop at this point. I think you've been at your own shop. Are you in Wakanda at this time in Illinois at the current shop by the late 90s, early 2000s?
No, and I went to from the Marksman for 5 years, and then I went to Barton Sports Center for about 5 years, and then I went to Vernon Hills for a few years, and then moved to my current shop after that. And I started the AKs in Vernon Hills because that's when I had misfortune.
Well, at what point, I got to know, I know it was early 2000s, around 2001, when the Russia trip happened. How were you already doing AK stuff before the Russia trip, around like 99, 2000? Yeah. If so, how did the Russia trip come about? What were you doing before the Russia trip happened? Were you already modifying AKs? And how did it happen?
I was modifying Stakes. And there was a company called Kalashnikov USA. And
oh, that's right.
Okay. They kept shipping me guns, and I'd convert them. Then, surprisingly enough, they stiffed me, and our relationship ended. And then I just started working on gunsmithing, which was kind of cool because it was the heyday of kits, and I was able to get dimensions from so many different parts to make a part that I know would fit in all of them, and crap like that. And that was a huge benefit. But man, it's very hard to make money doing build jobs.
So in the early 2000s, you were doing kit builds around the year 2000?
Yeah, I guess so.
So how do you get to a point where you're doing 1911s, you are in a new shop now, you're doing kit builds? How did the Russia trip happen? Did you meet some people? How did all that formulate before the Russia trip happened?
It's longer than 15 seconds, Clay. No, they kept telling us they'd go to, they were going to send us to Russia. And then they reneged when that deal closed, of course. And I was talking to my friend, Mark Vorobiev, who was just a customer to me at the time. And he was from Russia. He fought in the USSR in Afghanistan. And he said, they don't own Russia. He said it cost $2,500 to go at the time, I said, no shit. And so David Fortier and I and Mark Vorobiev got together, and Mark was very valuable as an interpreter and just a funny person. Good dude. And that's what happened.
So you guys planned the trip. What was the trip supposed to be? Just a tour of Russia? How did the trip turn into meeting some of the most important people?
I'm sorry. We went first. Let's see. We went to Moscow. We went to a bunch of museums. We went to Red Square and all that stuff, and checked out all the stuff. And then we went to Izhevsk, which is south of Moscow, and we went to go visit Izmash, and they never actually did let us into the Izmash plant. But we did broker the deal with shooting the AN-94, the Bison, and the K-98. And we went there and we shot, and the first night we had, oh man. Okay, this gets into more sordid tales. I'm sorry, I'm trying to piece this together. We go into Russia. We meet with all of Mark's buddies, which are Spetsnaz. And it's a quick reaction for us. And we go down these dimly lit halls and all this shit and go into the guy's office, and there's salami and cheese and a bottle of vodka. And all his boys are back from Chechnya. And they... We didn't even care about the frickin' the 9x39 gun. They had a VSS there.
Oh,
and they all freaked out because I took apart Ivan Stechkin, and Ivan was like he sounded. He's huge, big dude. And they all freaked out because I took that apart. Then we went to a disco. Then...
Hold on, don't skip the disco.
Yeah.
I've heard about the disco. What happened at the disco?
Yeah. we go down in there. I had not had a drink for 8 years, and we go down there and we're having a good time drinking, talking shit, and Mark's translating. And somebody, and this nightclub was owned by a friend of theirs, or this little disco. And a kickboxer had come in from winning a championship, and the asshole punches the owner for some reason. I don't really know how that transpired. But David and I were already way too fucked up and in the car by the time this happened, and they took the place apart and they beat the shit out of that kickboxer and they squished his leg with the pool table. It was pretty trippy. Then we drove back, and then I was so goddamn hungover, and I dry heaved all the way to Ijevsk, and I we went there, and no, we went to Baikal first, and man, I had the death walk going on. I had no, beta blockers weren't a thing. I mean, I was like deadpan, and everything I picked up with, I destroyed. I was dead eye that day, and it's because I just didn't give a shit. And I even kind of freaked out the sporting guy with a ore shot where it went past me, and I whacked it while it was going past me at 90 degrees. And then we went to inside the Baikal plant, and that's where I met Dragonov's son, and he showed me sub guns and the sporting guns. And there was only one sub gun. It was almost all, sporting rifles, but very interesting. And we went into this cavernous. I mean, it had to be an old railroad track. It had 2 tracks running down it and all that, and it was deep. And we shot down there, which was kind of cool. And
and
all that happened in one day, and then the next day we went to go see Izmash, and we went to a few museums there and all of that. And then I believe we drove to Kalashnikov's place.
Okay, before you say that, did you know going on this trip that you would eventually end up meeting Kalashnikov? Was that on the menu of things you were going to do? How did that connection happen?
Oh, that's definitely something we wanted to do. And it didn't really kind of hit me until we were about 20 minutes away, and I started going, man, I'm going to meet a pretty cool guy. And when we got there, he was just a gracious dude. And we had true translators, so that was good. And
so this was at
when I asked him, he told me, I'm sorry.
This was at his home?
Yeah, his summer home in Ijevsk, and or by Ijevsk. And we had lunch with him and all that. And
look at the spread.
Holy crap.
Jeez.
I just want chat to understand like the magnitude of what's happening right now. Okay, Mark, go on. You're having lunch.
And then we were talking about a book that these guys were going to do, David was going to do about Kalashnikov. And one of the guys with us, his name is Ahat, or maybe he's not. No, he's not in that picture. We had to go to his house after this, and we went there, and his apprentice said, "Did you hear about the Twin Towers?" And we were in the middle of a discussion, and we're like, "No, why?" And everybody started freaking out, and I said, "Just look, it's done." 15 minutes isn't going to kill us. Do what you got to do. Go to the hotel and find out what the fuck happened, And then, I mean, these guys have their own minds too. I'm just telling it from my perspective. But that's when we learned about. Man, I walked into Mark's hotel room and saw the planes crashing through the buildings, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Damn.
And unfortunately, and that's a very selfish thing to say because 1911 had happened, but we were going to go out with Spetsnaz the next day and sample weapons. I'm sad we missed, but I'm sad because for a few different reasons. I should have written Kalashnikov's photographer, also Kalashnikov, and 9/11 just turned everything so ass backwards that it was almost like you were reborn and had to, it like almost wiped it out, and it was very touching. I mean, we went to the U.S. Embassy, and it was probably the third batch of flowers that had gotten taken away or were about to get taken away. But I mean, they piled so many damn bouquets and all that stuff on the U.S. Embassy, and it was really cool to see. It's pretty diverse culture, and they, had been going through their own thing with the Chechens, and you could tell they cared. Humans care. Governments suck.
Yeah.
And
that time, the timing of that is insane.
Yeah.
So, in this picture, Mark, who are the two gentlemen to your left here? The gentleman with the glasses that's dressed pretty sharp and the dark suit. Who is that?
That is David Fortier. He is the editor for Shotgun News or Firearms News. And then this is Mark. The other guy is Mark Vorobiev, and he's the one that fought in Afghanistan. Got a bumper sticker.
He was your customer that set all this up?
Oh, he helped us set it up.
Yeah.
And we might have started talking about it. Well, I guess David had worked on maybe communicating with Kalashnikov to talk about this book because this was something, But you can see he's in cami jammies and slippy socks. And
I was going to mention the slippers, but I was waiting for you to finish.
Yeah, those camo pants are super
That's
fly.
gangster.
So there's slippers, and then so him wearing those second slippers means he went outside. Those other ones are indoor ones.
Indoor.
Oh, to keep the dirty slippers off the carpet.
True.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it was a nice place.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the most famous pictures of it's just super famous. I saw this picture so long ago when I first started learning about Mark. I don't remember where I saw it. It was in a magazine a long time ago. And Mark, you probably know which magazine it was in, but I know this was all featured. I guess it was in Firearms News, which is why he was there. All these pictures were in a magazine spread at the time. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, we have a box of them we can go.
I love that you keep all your photos.
But I don't. Some articles I do. Some articles I have. It's like I didn't even remember happened. So it's not to be a shit, but we got a few of them out on us.
H-Town, he does look a lot like Aaron from Iron Curtain, the guy in that photo. I'll have to show that to Aaron. There's a local AK Smith here in Houston that looks just like your buddy.
Mark or David?
He look your buddy Mark.
Yeah.
There's a guy in Houston that Iron Curtain Customs he could be his twin, and he also works on AKs, which is crazy. So Mark, that trip, like awesome. The timing is super unfortunate, but that trip is absolutely incredible. I know you probably get asked about it all the time. So I'd love to get into, you come home, you've just freaking met the guy that made the most popular small arm on the planet to this day. Like, you literally met the guy. And I remember you told me, and I say this in my M23 video, that you were kind of taken aback when he described himself to you. If I remember right, you said that he described himself just as a simple gunsmith, like nothing more. He didn't have any ego. He was just a very normal guy that was proud of his work, which is pretty crazy, seeing as he designed something that is on flags, is the most mass-produced small arm ever. It is the most popular gun on the planet, probably will be for decades to come. It was
Definitely
cool to hear you say how humble he was.
Yeah, that's what he told me. He said, I consider myself a gunsmith, which is kind of cocky now that I think about it. Ask him what he considers himself, but I wanted to know, you know.
You were like, hey.
I was looking for a thread of commonality, I guess. You know, I just wanted to
and
see
didn't
if
you
someone
say,
would rub off on me. You know?
Didn't you say you showed him some early designs that you were working on?
No, gun articles.
Okay, gun articles.
Not designs. And it wouldn't be prudent even back then to do that.
Well,
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Incredible.
Certainly awesome. Now, I don't think it would be able to happen, you know.
Tommy got them swamp donkeys on the wall.
On the other hand, they've got a very talented people, you know, and they lost a lot of that with their design teams, you know, and it kind of shows up on the AK-12. But I think they'll get it under control. And I know Russia's not the most popular country right now, but I mean, it's easy for me as a gunsmith to allocate more expense or whatever to make one that goes around what, you know, I saw as the problems. You know, a military has to do it for their whole damn country, you know. So when I think it maybe is better than the AK-12, I will also say that their task is harder than mine. And, you know, they can't turn on a dime, you know. It's different, you know. So I also would not bash the Kalashnikov concern, you know. They attempted a lot, not all of it worked out, and hopefully we've improved on some of those things, you know. Well, that's, I know we have.
A perfect pivot. So a gentleman asked earlier about the AKV 521. He keeps reminding me. And I didn't know what it was before I looked it up. So what's interesting about the AKV 521, it's, if I remember right, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, this actually predates the AK-12. This is kind of what the AK-12 was going to be. This is you can see here, Mark, it's so crazy how the M23 is like kind of what the AK-12 was supposed to be. The 521 had left side charge. It had the railed top cover that integrated with the railed handguard all on one solid line, just like the M23 does. And if you see here, Mark, this is kind of what they originally envisioned the AK-12 to be. It actually pivots, kind of like an AR-15. You have an upper and a lower. This gun never really happened, to my knowledge. I know some people in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong, this gun never really happened. What ended up happening was the AK-12. But originally, the 521 was the prototype that was popping up on all of the trade shows before the AK-12 happened. Kind of what the PSA VOOC is like mimicking. You can kind of tell by the flash hider there. That's what they copied. So it is very interesting. It's kind of like a 550. If you look at it, even has the little rubber dust cover on the right side. It pivots like a 550, left side charge. you might not have even known this existed, but it's just so funny how the M23 with left side charge is so much more like the 521 than it is the AK-12, in my opinion. It's just kind of cool how that worked out.
It's neat to see the evolution of the guns. I'll say that. I probably have seen that and didn't read, because it does. It looks like a AK-12 to me,
It's okay. I don't read either, Mark.
not having it in my hands, right?
So, what came first, Mark? Your first part for an AK or your first model of AK? Because you've had lines, you've had AK lines over the years. What came first? Did you make parts or the gun?
K103 was my big deal in the beginning.
Was an AK-103?
Short 103,
Is
and
that where you
the whole
would make
idea was to make them look as short as possible and have them, the muzzle brake permanently attached, and it.
Isn't that where you took the front sight post and you trimmed the barrel and you would take the 90-degree gas block and the front sight post and push them together and you had the 74 brake permanently attached?
Right.
Yeah, I remember seeing those. See, I've been creeping on you for a long time. There was a guy on YouTube years ago that used to always post his Krebs AK-103, and that's where I first saw someone actually just take the front sight post and the gas block and just smash them together. And I thought it looked so sick because at the time, combo blocks were kind of becoming a thing. I didn't realize people were doing that. So when did you come up with your first accessory for AKs? Maybe the safety or a muzzle device? When did that first happen?
Well, a lot of I think we more started making parts at first for the rifles because I knew that the kits would dry up at some point, and that's why we started going our own way.
So, like, I remember
I remember we made a rail for PSO scopes that puts it forward like an American shooter. Nobody bought any. Ended up throwing them away. The peep sight was one of the first good ones, I guess. And the AK-74 muzzle brakes, we were making them. And we made them just like the original ones. We actually swaged machine washers into them, which is the way the first ones were, And but then those started to lose their popularity, and so we quit making them. I mean, we're a small shop, so we can't make stuff that doesn't sell well,
So when I think most people in this chat, the first thing I ever saw that introduced me to Krebs, I think everyone on this chat would probably say the same thing. The first thing that I saw of Krebs Custom was your enhanced safety. It's probably on every other dude's AK to this day. It's the best safety ever made for an AK.
Yeah, that is our biggest part, not the first part.
But
it's been around for a while.
Do you remember about when that happened?
Well, at first it started off as little plates that we would rivet on, which we still sell, though we will run out of them eventually. But we'd stamp them on, and people really liked them. Or I mean, we'd rivet them on, people really liked them, and so then I decided to commit for machine dies, which was a lot of money, and but it paid off, and it kind of set a new standard for them a little bit. I mean, it was nice to be able to take the safety off without pulling your hand from the grip, which is, stuff left over basically from IPSC and things like that we did, or the building custom pistols for IPSC.
I think that was the first thing I ever changed out on an AK when I first got into the idea of competitive shooting, it was a Krebs safety and it was a muzzle device. Thank you, my love.
I think he wants to come in here.
Well, come on in here, buddy.
In here.
It's Morty's entered the chat. I think the Krebs safety was the first thing I ever installed on an AK, and I remember anyone that's ever suffered through their first AK, everyone knows.
Hello?
You gotta get Morty in there, dude. Morty!
Yeah, you say hi?
Hold on, hold up.
Hi.
Put him on the lap.
They want to say hi. Oh, I know.
Just leave him on his bed. He's okay.
There.
Okay, there he is.
What up?
That's another Morty!
What
What
up?
up?
It was Mortimus Max, first of his name.
Little Morty.
He looks so enthused.
Look at him.
He's so over it.
I think he wants to be right there.
He looks really annoyed.
All right.
Where's your cup?
I gave it to you. Anywho, I think a lot of people that get their first AK, what's the first thing that I notice? They hate the safety lever. People don't know that you can bend it. They don't understand it's a leaf spring. And a lot of people, probably their first thing they ever change out on an AK is the safety, and they go to a Krebs. It really is, I think, most people's introduction to Krebs Custom. So it has to be one of your best sellers. And I know eventually you got into muzzle devices and all kinds of things, but when did you first decide, you know what, I'm going to make a line of AKs, combo blocks, the railed top covers, the whole thing? When did you decide to make your own AK with your own mods, like ready to go from the store with everything under the sun bolted on it? I have a picture of some early builds. I was just curious what the first one was.
The KTR-03 was a good rifle, and I still like the gun today.
Is this it?
That's a 08. That's a KTR-08. There's KTR-03.
Got it. Exposed dust covers look so sexy. I'm just gonna say it. Very, very Galil. Love the way that looks.
Yeah, Galil's always kind of been involvement, I should say, has always been a little bit of an influence as well. Well, you know, they were the first ones that actually started embarking on the, hey, you know, we don't have to have the same gun we had in 1947. You know, we can, we can make improvements, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the basic action doesn't need any improving, but just ergonomics, stuff like that, making them light. That was a nice light gun. Probably as light as the M23, which we go to great lengths on making parts and stuff to cut down on the weight. You know, I've never heard of anybody wanting a heavier gun when they're running with it, trying to do stuff, you know.
So there's a lot going on here. I'm assuming this is early 2000s, before 2010, I would assume.
Yeah, well.
And what's crazy is
03, yeah.
Oh, wow, 03. So in 03, you are already doing combo blocks. For people that don't know, front sight gas block combo, railed dust covers, Picatinny lowers. That's pretty ahead of its time. I mean, a lot of people, and this is nothing against RD, but a lot of people think that RD kind of popularized combo blocks and front end conversions. Krebs has been doing that a long time with these rifles. In fact, Mark, you might not even know this. Crazy timing. So we planned this live stream, right? Buddy of mine on Instagram, M23 Lemon Grenade. He was in the chat earlier. Don't know if he's here now. Hope he still is, because talk about him a little bit. Buddy of his is going through his attic, finds an old magazine from 2006, which is kind of crazy, featuring this gun. You might not even remember this magazine. Guns and Ammo did a full spread on it back in 06, which is just so freaking badass. Yeah, Guns and Ammo, 2006, $8 for this magazine back then. Had a full spread on the, what was this, the KTR 103?
Yeah.
Dude, I bet in 06, people did not think it's dude. It even has ambi safety.
Yeah.
Is that
You
a
guys see
mag
that?
light?
Yeah.
Mark, even today, this is like some next level AK stuff. Even today,
Oh yeah.
and this is even that looks like a 545 AK. Is that
Looks like a
545?
movie prop.
Yeah, it's freaking 545.
Oh, that one might be. Yeah.
Yeah, that's 545. That's
Yeah.
badass. And you know what's even cooler about this gun? I didn't know this. I don't remember who told me this. Mark, you might have told me this. That one of these was even featured in a movie for a few seconds. Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Brad Pitt and
Right.
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
There's a scene. I
About
don't
a
have
half
it pulled
a
up.
second.
There's a scene. It's when Brad Pitt's in the dune buggy out in the desert. Angelina Jolie's like up in a sniper hideout, and she takes some shots at him. She's using a KTR 103 with a scope on it by Krebs Custom, which is badass. Pretty freaking cool.
So if you pause it just right and zoom in, you see the Krebs Custom logo on it.
Do you really?
I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm gonna watch that movie tonight.
No, you can't even see it. That was very disappointing.
Don't be modest, Mark.
Huh?
I said, don't be modest. You can see it.
Well, okay.
Freedom Seed with $10 is asking, can we still get the KTR 103?
Just dropping money. Loan me
It's on
$5.
Gunbroker somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find
Yeah,
one.
that is kind of a possibility. But I got my hands full now.
Well, Mark, I've always considered you to be extremely ahead of your time, to the point where you were developing stuff that I think some people may have completely overlooked until years later. Was the KTR 103 a big seller at the time? Did people get it? Did it have a fan base? What was it? What were the early 2000s like with these Gucci AKs back then? Okay.
And it was a bitch to make. You know, you had to machine all the trunnions for the Galil gas tube style, and we spliced gas tubes, and there's a lot of work in it that you don't see.
What was the sticker on it back then?
Yeah, what would something like that ran back in those days? And around 2006.
$50.
I think they were about 800.
God, can you imagine?
Good Lord.
And that's even based on a Saiga.
I know. It's so crazy.
I'll pay you, Mark, $900 to get me one.
I
within
$900.
I don't have one. I mean, I've got one in Airsoft, but
dude, look how disgusting that looks.
That thing is fancy.
Smooth.
Yeah,
sexy.
Wait, you have an Airsoft version of this?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Zach's got a strong point in the comments.
We need a 5,000 round video on that Airsoft version.
There's no more of those, dude.
What? Who doesn't?
Oh, with Airsoft, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll buy that ammo.
Yeah, it'd be cool to get like a retro build, get some chemo in there, and
that
some
right
of your old parts
to bring back.
Some of your old tabs.
Zach says, I'm just going to say the Krebs M23 is the best bang for your buck on modern AKM. I agree.
It
People
is.
that about the price just do not understand. They have no clue what goes into that and have no clue what it would take you to get an AK to that point. Have no idea. So I want to lead into so that we're talking about the Krebs past. Those are badass rifles. When I first started really looking at the Krebs website, the AC-15 was kind of the rifle at the time. So Saigas were kind of still available. They had just been banned. This is like 2015, so they were just banned a year prior. You were running out. I remember the Vepers started to kind of get phased in. You were starting to modify the Vepers. I think AC-18s may have eventually started to come in.
And then they shut off the Vepers. That's when we had to start building on our own.
Right. And I got a picture here. So people
was a
probably
big
remember
improvement.
this was like a big point. I remember YouTube and influencers and all that loved these AC-15s, AC-18s. I saw Military Arms Channel and like Rob Ski and all these randoms. Mr. Guns and Gear even has one of these. Like, you saw this on a lot of channels at the time. Krebs was white hot. obviously key mod kind of tells you the date of around this time frame. I remember Krebs was so freaking hot. Even Rifle Dynamics was modifying the Krebs lower handguard for a lot of Rifle Dynamics AKs. Like, it was such a cool time. In fact, this handguard right here, people probably remember this from showing up on a lot of RD guns. That was a Krebs handguard that was modified. And Mark, I remember at that time, I was also starting to see this mag flange, and I was seeing these little shorties that you called the ass neck. I have no clue to this day where you came up with that name. This one here, no clue what that means. It's like some inside joke.
And the mag release.
It's just
well, it's what we called a friend of ours. And he was tough. And we're friendly at Krebs Custom, but we do pick on each other a little bit. You know?
Not at all.
And Mark, I got to say, at this time, around the AC-15, AC-18 era, I thought that was the sexiest combo block I'd ever seen. That front sight gas block combo that you had. I remember at the time emailing you if you would sell it separately, and I don't think it was possible at the time. I thought it was the sexiest gas block I'd ever seen. I thought the peep sight on the dust cover was the sexiest thing I'd ever seen. I loved the key mod rail. I bought one and ran it on a ton of AKs. I even trimmed it like Rifle Dynamics used to do. I thought I couldn't afford a Krebs at the time, so I was doing everything I could to like replicate it. I thought it was the coolest shit I had ever seen at the time. I thought this was like the pinnacle of AKs. This, I was just really starting to snowball into AKs. I had a Wasser, a Vepr. I had just bought an SLR 107. I had just gone to my first Red October around 2016. But for that year prior, seeing your modified AKs just lit a fire under my ass. Like, I didn't know it was possible to have AKs at that level. I didn't know any of that stuff was possible until I stumbled across the Krebs Custom website. And I'm seeing shit like this around, this is 2015, people in the chat. Yeah. This shit was happening then. Even today, this gun right here, things like this. I mean, dudes, look how sexy that is. Yeah, even today, this is fucking awesome. And even at that time, I thought it was the coolest shit I'd ever seen. And I wanted so bad to have an AK with a combo block because they were not common back then. Front sight gas block combos were not common. Only Krebs and RD were doing it at the time. I thought it was the coolest shit ever. I'd never seen a Krebs in person, never got to touch one. And it was just so badass. It's insane to me, Mark, that this is going on 10, 12 years ago that you were doing stuff like that even back then. The muzzle device that doubles as a compensator and a flash hider, the whole thing, and your optic mount, your steel optic mount that replaced your rear sight, which even today is an amazing idea. It blows my mind that you were doing this shit so long ago, and you've even told me that things like the mag flange and the ejection are like 20-plus-year-old designs that people just weren't ready for then, so you shelved the idea. That is how awesome Krebs was even back then, when people are just now finding out about some of these mods.
Mark is a time machine.
Getting off my soapbox, but that was awesome back then. That I don't know if I would have really gotten into AKs as hard as I did if I didn't stumble across Krebs back in those days, because I was younger, I was very impressionable, and I knew I liked AKs. I didn't know really a lot about modifying them. I knew I was going to start maybe shooting competitions, and then I saw these Krebs guns, and I was like, yo, okay, AKs are capable of a lot. Had no clue you could do this to AKs, and it really warmed me up to the idea of going balls to the wall with them. That was all because of Krebs back then.
Thank you.
So now
I'm glad that I helped.
You did. And I'm not the only one. There's been people in the comments. There's literally dudes in the comments that say they bought your guns that went overseas with them. And I know there's a whole story to that, how you've built AKs for contractors. Awesome. So now we come to current time, and I think right now what's happening with your M23, and I'm not just saying this because I cherish your friendship and I believe in you, and I think you're just the best gunsmith walking the earth right now in regards to AKs. That M23, I've shot a lot of guns. I've shot damn near every AK under the sun. I got an SOT, I got machine guns, I got all kinds of shit. That M23 is literally the nicest shooting AK I've ever shot. It is the flattest, most accurate, fastest on its feet AK that I've ever shot. The fact that it can do what it does while being at that weight is just dumb. It almost doesn't seem possible. And I know anyone in the comments that owns one, and I know everyone on this chat has had time with one. I know 2 guys on this chat have one and have really put it through its paces. The M23 is incredible. And that's really what spurred the live stream tonight. I wanted to get you on here to talk about what's currently now happening at Krebs. So now I want to get deep into the M23. What gave you the idea to make this thing, which is what I consider the best AK money can buy today? Where did the M23 come from?
Well, I looked at the AK-12 and, well, we've been doing stuff kind of similar. I mean, the Galil gas tubes, yes, they're not welded on. But, I mean, I know that just having a gas tube and eliminating all the extra bullshit saves tons of weight, and so I thought, man, that is a bitchin' idea. And it was easy for me in a way because I had a list of what was undesirable, about the 12, and was able to correct that. Like our gas cylinder comes all the way out as an intact gas cylinder so that you can clean all those areas in there, that's one of the main features that we did, is just so that you don't have overlapping pieces of metal that and even non-corrosive will start to rust after a while. And so we took care of stuff that we thought was a problem. We hear that I was watching 9-hole. They said it didn't hold a 0 well, and so we worked on that. And I've always kind of believed in the left-handed op handle, and then safety is something that and a mag release that will be showing up pretty soon here, was inspired by this gun. That's kind of one of the things that happens when you start going all out on the stuff. Is some of the stuff becomes products, like our left-hand safety. And then like putting on our op handles, you got to have a well-equipped machine shop. And we're coming up now with screw-on mag wells so that guys can get these done at home much easier. And that's coming out soon. But instructions are going to take us a little while. But we made it so that it's I wouldn't say it's easy to do, but it's definitely, well, no, it is easy to do if you follow the instructions. But follow the instructions. People don't always do that.
You made a post a little while ago. I've got it here. A lot of questions came up in my YouTube video about the M23, about the dust cover. So it's a TWS dust cover, but it's a collaboration between Krebs and TWS. So it's different. It's bespoke to the M23. And I didn't mention it in the video, but you actually have a post showing another level that you went to help this thing hold 0. I want to show this video because I don't think a lot of people know this about the M23. I never talked about it in my video. So let me share this because you talk about it in your own words here.
I'd like to explain
You guys have audio?
how the top
Good.
cover is opened and also how the scope top cover is aligned and anchored. What I'm going to do is push in this cartridge. You put it in like that, push straight forward and tilt up a little bit, and you actually get it to pull the top cover off. Okay, now I'm going to remove the guide rod. Now, these two lugs have been created here
Cool.
so that we can regulate where the top cover goes behind the forend. And so it'll keep it from going side to side. The inclined plane on the back of the guide rod keeps the scope covered down. And then as you can see right here, this portion, or this is the gas block that we weld on, is welded onto here and clamped to this loop for the pin on the top cover. And the combo of these things holds your scope rail very still. And as you can see, it puts tension on the top cover so that it will not move from side to side. And that's it.
Yeah, sick.
And that's it. That's all it is.
That's it.
And so there's people that will comment, and you can't not talk about the price of something. There's things like that I didn't even talk about in my video, and people wonder why, you know, certain AKs cost. I mean, that there's no one doing anything like that to go above and beyond to even make a special TWS with another way to stop windage shift. I mean, just little things like that. The M23 is full. I said in my video, I feel like the M23 is a mixtape of all of the Krebs greatest hits. All the cool ideas over the years are all mixed into one gun. Left side charge, the tumbled parts, the spring-loaded mag assist, the mag funnel, which is like a 25 freaking year-old design. It's insane that it had been around that long. The dust cover, the 1913 that has the highest adjustment I've ever seen. There's so much going on with it. The freaking gas block, which is like so SIG 550 in all the right ways. There's so much good about that gun. I couldn't even mention it all in my video. I'm so impressed with it. So I think it's just the coolest thing.
You did a pretty good job.
Yeah,
Great job.
It's just the coolest damn AK, man. And I know that not everyone takes their AKs to competitions. You know, some people are just into AKs to collect something that could have been used in the war in a conflict. They want it just the way they want a parts kit put together just the way it would have been. And this might not be appealing to those types of people, but people that actually do enjoy shooting. I've done everything. I've tried accurizing AKs. I've tried muzzle brakes and my own triggers and everything. I've done the whole thing. The M23 made all that feel like I was wasting time, or I just didn't know what the hell I was doing. It really, it's kind of perfect the way it comes, man. Granted, mine had the left side charge and the spring loaded assist, which I know the base model doesn't come with, but it really is a gun that needed nothing. It needed nothing. I'm so impressed by it.
About 7 of those I've got to build now.
It's the spring-loaded mag ejection.
Cool, because it's getting me to, like you said, I'm getting the mag well to the point where it's much easier to install. You know.
Yeah, like we said earlier, there it is right there. You know, this picture is probably from like 2015, maybe even 14. It's a Saiga, so this is like back when the rifles were coming in. That's how old. And Krebs said that design is even way older than that. At the time, AK competitions were not a thing in 2015. The first Red October didn't happen until 2016. No one was really shooting AKs in a competitive setting at that time. It was not a thing. It was not popular. Now that AK competitions are starting to really become mainstream, modifications like that are really starting to make sense, and they're becoming really popular. The one thing I get asked about more than anything is how do I get a spring-loaded mag ejection on my AK? Where do I get the parts? How do I install it? Does Mark sell the parts separately? I get asked that more than anything. I think that will go down in history as one of your best designs ever. It is so popular right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy to me that the design is so old, and it just took a while for the AK culture to catch up to a really good idea that happened a long time ago.
Yep.
I kind of feel like that, but I would, partial.
That's the update I need on my rifle.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, you
2
don't have
years
one?
ago,
No.
none of
You know,
my
you know what has to happen first? You have to send it to me.
I'll take part of the blame on that one.
Sorry, it might be.
I was
It
supposed
was
to bring
supposed
it
to
to
get
you.
handed to Jamie, and we
Yeah, I
both
was supposed to
forgot.
bring it to you, and I forgot.
Oh, I'm gonna mag wall for. Oh, wait a minute! It's not here.
I just want to touch on something, Clay.
So
I'm sorry
is
to
it?
jump
What,
in
did
here.
you send it slow boat? I mean, when do you think it'll get here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably Sunday or Monday.
Possum's been jumping in, making comments about all the great things Mark has done to this 23, and I think me and you talked about this a couple weeks ago when I was texting you and I was watching Raw and you were watching Kill Tony because you're too busy to watch wrestling. But
I catch up on
just
Raw later.
it's like just if you took a stock AK and tried doing all the things Mark has done to this, like for instance, I have an unnamed three-letter rifle. It's a WBP. But I've put so much money into this thing to get it to shoot amazingly, and like just taking the 23 is like stock right out of Mark's shop and shooting it is fantastic compared to how much money I've put into this other rifle to try to get it to shoot as good as that. And I think that's like something people are overlooking as far as like, oh well, it's expensive, but it's not considering all the
It's not just
all the
looks. It actually
well, no,
does
it's not. It's very well engineered,
Yeah.
and it's one of the. I mean, I'm not just tugging on you here, Mark, but as far as 223 AKs go, that thing is amazingly flat.
Anything he
nipples.
touches.
Tug harder.
Yeah.
Cool. No, I've had good people say good things about it.
It's cool how the spring-loaded assist paddle and the mag funnel, I like that it's all sheet metal. Like it literally looks like it just blends in with a stamped receiver. It doesn't look so out of place. I think it's integrated pretty well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've never bent one that I know of either. Which I guess it's because the mag flange sweeps out a little bit, which we did do on purpose to a degree. So you don't activate the mag release by accident.
No, Mark, I got to ask. People left a lot of comments on my video, and people are even asking here, are there going to be any options in the future for short-barreled M23s?
Chop it.
Oh, yeah, we're making them now.
Oh, what?
Nice. 8-inch.
14 and a halfers, and then we're going to be ending up in a couple months. We'll start making 13 inchers.
Oh, damn.
And a couple 8s, 9s.
8s and 9s. Yeah, I mean, realistically, we took the shorty out far, so.
Waiting for the next one with the 308 M23.
Oh.
Yeah, Mark had a shorty when we went to that range, didn't he, Tommy?
Yeah,
it wasn't a full size.
Yeah.
That's until we can get 308 components, that's not going to be a big choice. You know what? I can't do this anymore. I have to go pee. Excuse me just a moment. Yeah, I know.
While Mark is going to pee, load up the comments with some questions. We'll hit him up with questions when he comes back.
Oh, how can you not love that, man?
Mark's fantastic. I don't know if you guys caught on to this already.
What video? Oh, the video. Thank you for reminding me. We'll show the video.
What video?
Yeah, I have to. So while Mark's not here, one of my favorite things is the the Krebs Custom Instagram page, because I think Mark runs it himself. I assume.
Yeah.
Can I assume Mark runs it himself? Okay.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. There are some real gems, and there's one video in particular I'm gonna have him react to that is the funniest. It's just like Mark is a boomer in like all the best ways. It's so freaking funny. Today,
even
Is
the
it the
last
video?
one, the last video that you just showed with the top cover.
Yeah.
He commented original audio.
I
It is just like so perfect. Like
I love there's one video where it just starts off and he's just Mark. He's hello. And I don't know why, but I just love
Hello.
watching that. Yeah, hello. Oh, here he is.
there was a video where Mark,
Mark.
was holding Show's tool, and he goes hello, and Rachel's like, it's like a
Yeah.
puppet. It's almost like the tool is saying hello.
Hello.
Oh, that's
Oh.
great.
Mark, we love you. That's all we're trying to tell you.
We're just saying hello, Mark.
Okay.
That was a quick piss. I
That's
ain't
what I
gonna lie.
do best.
Damn, did you run back?
I don't know if he just found
Did
a
you even go?
bottle.
He Naruto ran back to the computer. Okay, Mark, we have a few questions in the chat I wanted to ask you, and then I want you to. We're going to talk social media for a second.
Hell yeah, we are.
Let's see. Does Mark Krebs have a protege, apprentice to carry on all of his techniques once he retires? Do you have someone in line, Mark?
Yes. Yes.
Nice. All right. Let's see. Ask what he hates the most about AKs. Like, what really needed fixing first? What do you hate about AKs, Mark?
Didn't hate anything. I just ergonomics. Ergonomics were a little bit rough. That's what I saw could use some improvement.
Okay.
And then handling and then all the rest.
Nice. Okay. Interesting question. Mark, who was your biggest supporter? I guess just being in business, who was your biggest champion?
My wife.
That's what I was waiting for.
That's what
Good
I was
answer.
thinking.
Good answer.
Hell yeah.
Right. But it's the truth.
Yeah.
And
Virginia,
the truth.
Virginia is what Sharon Osbourne was to Ozzy. I
Oh,
think it's probably the
100%.
best comparison of their dynamic.
Oh yeah.
So, Mark, I gotta ask you. The Krebs Custom Instagram page, you run that page. It's all you, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I was hoping you could react to a post, one of my favorite Krebs Custom posts. It's a real gem. I love it. I watch it frequently. Let me just play that for you here. But I have to prep the comment section. The
Tommy go in the hall.
the Krebs Instagram page is so awesome. I got to show you the video. I love some of the posts that make it to the page. This is my favorite post of all time. Let me know if you guys have audio. Audio's good?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Little shop tour. God, Rachel's
Really?
losing
I
it.
put that up?
Rachel's losing it in the next
Yeah,
room.
you did.
Oh, shit. All
Little
right.
shop tour. Here's my workbench.
Me limping.
I think we're in his top pocket. I honestly.
Yeah.
Look at that shit. Fuck me.
Came out a minute ago. I'm like a fool. I stuck it back.
No.
Fuck me.
And I put
My
that
favorite post
sucker
of all
up.
time.
Awesome.
And the Krebs page is full of gems like that. I
Well,
freaking
when
love
you
it.
know as much about it as I do, you know.
That's raw and uncut, dude. That's what people want to see.
Do you know how amazing it is? It's like we don't laugh at it. We are enjoying it because it is real.
Yes.
Hell yeah,
You know.
it is.
Well, it is. It's a lot like me. That is true.
Yeah. Everyone gets a little piece of the Saturday hangouts.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
I said everyone gets a little piece of the Saturday hangouts.
Yeah. No, I like it when you guys come over. Sometimes you drive me nuts.
I get yelled at.
High
because I-
energy boy comes to the shop. Everybody knows it. Tommy. Yeah.
I tell the
Bolton
wife-
says, my favorite video on his Instagram page is where he's using the air chisel to cut the trigger guard off of Galil Aces.
Yeah.
No, I offended a guy. He said, I thought you would have been machining those off. So why would you do that? You know,
Why would? Yeah, I hope you body shamed him for such a comment. Yeah.
hey, people say what they think. You know, I corrected him. I said it actually is easier on the gun than machining them off. You know.
It was even a comment when you were cutting off my sling loop on the barrel. Someone was like, "Oh, why did you use a bandsaw?" It's like, it's finished, it's smooth. You would never know that it's on there. Like people
Like,
are
you would really waste your time machining.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect
It's like we're
for
gonna
I
just
don't
chop
care
it off.
about that stuff. When people, you know, and plus, are they asking you?
No.
I
They're
mean,
putting
you
it
know,
on there.
why would you use a
Oh.
bandsaw? Well, because it's quicker. You know, I mean, it's just that it's not real hard to defend most of your actions. You know.
No, it was such an amazing thing because I was like, "Hey, we should cut the sling loops off," and you're like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Because it gets hot and it's a short gun." You're like, "All right," and you turned around, walked over, fired up the bandsaw, and just right. I barely got my camera out to get you to do that, but yeah, it was just such an awesome, quick turnaround. Like, let's do it. But that's the kind of stuff that happens there, and it's cool.
In Mark's defense, he's very accurate with other things. He told me to take a 10,000th off of something a couple weeks ago, and I said, I'll just use the belt sander. He's like, no, you won't. We'll go over to the mill. And I was like, oh, okay, my bad.
Well,
Show, what would you say your funniest Krebs story is? You've probably known you've.
you
Mark
can't say
much
that
longer.
one.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say Mark's not going to let me say it.
Oh, I
Can't
got
say
a
that
good one.
I literally can't.
kill you.
So my funniest story I'd have to get his blessing for it. I really can't.
To film it and
bad.
put it behind a paywall or something.
I
It's too
think I'm in
funny.
the same boat.
This is yeah. I really can't. I gotta stay silent on that one.
Here, I'll
Paul,
tell
I'm
it
with
for him in a somewhat redacted form.
Yeah, there you go. Let him explain it his way.
Hey, Alex and I were driving around just trying to find people to talk to and stuff like that. And Alex brought
A lot. Just say a lot.
50 1.5 ounce bottles of vodka. And we're, driving around and, hey, you want another? Alex is always very, very good for helping the push. And, so we're bored and I'm like, yeah, have another and have a few. And then by the time it's time to meet anybody, I get up and fall flat on my face, and Alex and Show got to stuff me in the truck. And, Brandon Herrera comes up. Oh, Brandon, fucking, hey, really good to see you. Too bad I'm unconscious. But, yeah, that was a bad one. But that good enough for your Show? I mean, I put 90% of it
pretty
in there.
close.
It suffices, yeah.
We're missing a few.
And my wife's telling me to shut up, so I must be doing okay.
I have a,
Yeah, that was
It was at KB is what it was. At
unfortunate
KB
incident.
last year, and it was an unfortunate event.
Was
Very funny, but yeah,
I remember at KB, Mario from SOF Defense, Mario Parada, he was working at Lee Armory at the time. This is the first time Mark came to KB. And Mario comes up to me. He goes, man, after all this time, I really thought Mark would know my name. I said, what's up? He said, man, Mark was chilling, sitting on a cooler, just 3 sheets, and he hears someone going, hey, Lee. And Mario's kind of looking around. He's like, Lee. And Mario looks at Krebs, and Krebs is like, Lee, come over here. Mario's like, me? Comes over, and he's like, Lee. Mario's like, hey, man, my name's Mario. And he goes, oh, I thought you were Lee Armory. I thought your name was Lee. And he's like, no, it's Mario. I just work there. And he's like, ah. And then they proceeded.
That was the same time frame. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So probably okay. Same night.
Yeah, well, that's the first time I met him.
That was the exact same time frame.
I still love Mark popping wheelies on the golf cart at KCON.
Oh,
up
dude.
that hill. Freaking hitting the 3-wheel motion, trying to make it up that hill.
I remember I seen him from a distance. That golf cart just went, boom. I was like, somebody go help Mark. That thing's on 3 wheels.
Dude, that was a time.
It's all good.
Oh,
I was brought
fantastic.
up on wheels, you know.
The funny part was it went back on 4 wheels, and Mark's just laughing as he keeps on driving.
Well, it was fun.
Yeah,
Kinda, you know.
it was fun to watch. I can tell you that.
You're at the sky for a few seconds. That was
Water Boy. Yeah, Water Boy for KCON.
yes.
That was the best,
coolest.
one of the best damn events I ever did. I swear to God, sitting there going, "What the hell do I do?" Because I basically crashed KCON. You know, I'm here. You know, I'm staying in the room. I'm not doing anything, but I'm here. And then Matt said, "Hey, you know, there's another 4-wheeler over there you could use." And then I started thinking about it, and I saw that water stacked up there, and it was hot as shit. And loaded up the thing, and I got to meet everybody at KCON. It was cool, you know.
Yeah, people are in the comments right
And
here.
not many people hate you on a hot day with water.
Oh no!
It's like tying a pork chop around your neck for dogs, you know.
I'm pretty sure everybody at KCON remembers when they met Mark Krebs that year.
Oh yeah,
especially on the Saturday night.
Oh,
and enough of that.
So, Mark,
Okay.
I gotta ask. I don't know how you could ever top the M23, but you know we've talked about Krebs past, present, and I think the present is we're probably in the best of times as far as what people like you have shown the AK is capable of. What are the plans for the future? Do you have any crazy ideas? Maybe napkin drawings you're willing to share with us right now? Things that aren't happening yet, but are maybe cooking in the oven a little bit?
No, not at present. I know that. I'm sorry. I just bore the shit out of you. Hey, use this social media opportunity, man. You know, I don't know
Mark
how,
buffers
but
like
I mean,
the internet in 1998,
it's well, focusing on the M23 is real important right now, and we usually keep migrating to try to make it better. You know, is one of the things we do. So the process takes a while, you know, and
I feel like those top cover lugs, stuff like that is the V2.
I remember when he first showed me, hey, look at this, and then you came to the shop later, and I was like, Tommy, you got to see this. And then that's when I showed you the lugs for the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was yeah. It's little things that mean so much.
It is. It's going to be something.
Little things though. I mean, you know, you need a scope to stay still, you know, and there's still more improvements I think we could make on it. I don't think huge ones, but you know, and like I say, yours is one of the first, Clay, and you don't have any of those things. That's when I was welding the trunnions out and squaring them up and regulating them by hand in the end mill. God damn, was that horrible. But I can say I'm a better welder than I was after getting on these guns, because there's a lot of welding, you know. And unfortunately, I'm the only one that does it.
And these are the things that really set you off different. Like if you buy a factory rifle, you're still just buying a factory rifle from someone, you know. these touches and these things, nobody else is doing it. So it's
Well,
cool.
we'll see if it catches on. Some people think I thought people would think it was low priced. I mean, I
It
see
is.
guns from
Dude,
other companies going for 4,500 and stuff like that, and
yeah.
I've been trying to make it affordable. I mean, a large amount of cost is in the parts that are made. You know, just stuff like that, and that's what we were suffering, honestly, before Clay did the video. I mean, it was crickets, and I think it's because Clay started out, and then we had problems that you didn't want to talk about, but we did, and I had to overload the gas port more on the rifle, and then we also changed the hammer and stuff like that, and they're just guns, you'll get them to run, and then Clay picked it up, and good God, it was like the floodgates opened up. I mean, it's not like we sold 30 of them in the last 2 weeks, but God, I think we sold about 15 of them. And that was real good because we're getting a little bit low on fundage. So,
Well, all I'm going to say, Mark, if you're good at something, you don't do it for free. So if you're the best at something, then what? Because I really do think you are the best at it.
well, you try to do it, but then you're at the, I mean, anytime you do something new, you get persecuted, and but I really haven't gotten much of that.
If you follow the
And
lineage,
the purist guys don't like it, and I understand, and I know they're making new rules.
Hey,
Get
follow the
banned in
Krebs
your
lineage.
state, get banned in your sport,
How many ideas have you had in the past that took 10 plus years to catch on? If people might be a little shell shocked by the M23 right now, but wouldn't you say people had the same feeling with that mag flange and that spring loaded mag assist 15 years ago, when now it's the hotness? Like, people might not be ready for it, but what I can say is it's just, I say in the video, it's one of those guns. It's not an entry level gun. It's not a mid tier gun. It is a top tier gun, and it has a name attached to it. That little engraving on the side of the receiver means that gun will hold value forever. It's just anything with a Krebs engraving on the side holds value regardless. It could be a basic 103. It could be a pimped out M23. It could be a 1911. Those things hold value. But as far as the M23, it's not trying to be a collector grade AK. It's not trying to be clone correct. The M23 is what is, in my opinion, it's the most ergonomically sound AK that I've ever shot for people that actually shoot. Not everyone is into AKs to shoot them. A lot of people are into AKs to collect them. Some people love the history. There are so many deep rabbit holes to fall into when it comes to AKs. I know plenty of guys that spend big money on AKs that don't shoot a single round all year long, and they're pretty opinionated. But people that actually shoot,
I love that.
people that actually
That's
shoot,
why I needed these guys, because I can't do it anymore well, and they get in my ear and tell me things they'd like. Sometimes they, like, Tommy told me about the hammer before I even knew about it, but he was too nice, he didn't want to hurt my feelings, so, and all that shit. And then I go, holy shit, we definitely need to do that. And then another person that really kind of helped everything along was Len and Mike at Dissident Arms. About the time I was getting pissed off and thinking maybe we should try this again, they called up and they were interested in it. And and that happened because of KillCon, because one of their guys was shooting one of my old guns, And they said, that is the easiest to load gun we have, and blah, blah, blah. And then we got into it, and Lynn and Mike are the type of people that won't run roughshod over you if you share with them, and they were truly inspirational and kind of resurrecting that too, I must say. And I have those guys the highest regard for those guys. And as far as also niches and things like that you're talking about, Troy Sellers is a guy that doesn't get mentioned near enough. And that fucking guy can build some beautiful shit. And he's got zillion years. He's been in it as long as I have. And, give or take, I don't know. But he knows those models. I mean, he knows what they're supposed to look like. You can send him one and tell him how to make it right, and he'll correct you. And he oughta, and that guy really needs a little more attention. I think he is probably the best kit builder happening because of his attention to detail and authenticity, which is not something I am, and there's lots of different niches,
Wow.
Yeah, I've heard his name. I think most
M13.
a lot of M13.
I was going to wear an M13 T-shirt tonight, but you wouldn't want to see me in it.
Well, it's so one thing I love about you, Mark, and I can't say this about every gunsmith I've ever met, is I don't feel like you have a cocky bone in your body. That's what she said. Maybe there's a joke in there somewhere, but I feel like you're the most.
It does. It happens.
You're humble, and you've always done that in our conversations when we're talking. You always talk about other AK Smiths and talking about how badass their work is. We've talked Troy Sellers, we've talked John and M13, we've talked about Jim Fuller, Mikhail Kalashnikov. It's you've always glazed up other AK gunsmiths for their good work, when sometimes other gunsmiths, they just don't do that. Sometimes they sniff their own farts a little too much. For a guy at your level, I mean, I'd never hear you. In fact, I feel like sometimes it might bother you when I'm always like buttering you up, giving you all these compliments, because I don't know.
It makes me extreme.
I can tell. Yeah, you just I don't think you buy into your own hype, and that's probably the best quality that you have.
Any asshole that ever has turned into one, I mean, what's the point? They're mechanical objects. You do what they tell you to do, I mean, and your, and your people that buy from you, I mean, they're the ones that invent the parts. They're the ones, I mean, it's in concept, but it's still them, so I mean, it's cool shit. And you can't hide. Knowledge is knowledge, dude. You can't hide from it. Well, sometimes you can't find it, but you can't hide from it.
Well, Mark, we've been going for 2 hours and 40 minutes, believe it or not.
Holy shit! No wonder I feel like
I know you guys are in completely different time zones.
And and you guys sitting there listening to me getting greased up.
Oh yeah,
this weekend come in, start insulting me, do the
I know I know it's almost midnight for you guys, and I don't want to take up a lot more of your time, and I'm so appreciative that Mark and Tommy and Jamie and Show have given us so much time tonight. I'm very appreciative, Mark, that you were willing to let me work with you, and that you let these guys into your life.
Honey, I am appreciative of you guys. You guys have helped usher me in to this era. It's the truth, and I thoroughly appreciate all of you.
Well, that's a big hell yeah there, brother.
And most
So,
We love you,
love
Dad.
some of you assholes.
I want $4.
well, Mark, I don't want to drag tonight out too much longer. I feel like I want to end on a really happy note. I want to end on a happy note. I think it was really cool to talk about your history. I don't think a lot of people know about it. I feel like it's very important. You're one of those guys that 20, 30 years from now, we're going to be, you are on the Mount Rushmore of AK Smiths. You're up there. So I'm a big wrestling fan. I'm a wrestling fan, right? I know Jamie is too.
Oh yeah, brother.
There's this wrestling term they always talk about. Who's your Mount Rushmore of wrestlers? Like your Hulk Hogan's, your Rocks, your Stone Colds, your Ric Flairs,
Roddy Piper.
Right. Well, that's not even close to the Mount Rushmore, but whatever. It's not, dude. I'm just saying.
Got a signed picture of Kurt Flair on his desk.
Kurt Flair, love that guy, right, Jamie?
Yeah, Kurt Flair.
They were all great. I watched the cage match at the Rosemont with Hulk and all that shit. It was great. It was freaking great. I thought, oh my God, who am I going to meet there? And they all looked like me. Oh well.
Well, Mark, you are on the Mount Rushmore of AK Smiths in this country, and to me, you're at the tippy top. You're the tip of the spear. So, I would love to end tonight going around the table. Everyone closing us out with what they got going on, their social medias, maybe saying something nice about Mark. And then, Mark, I want you to have the final word to send everyone else off to their Friday night. So, Tommy, if you wouldn't mind, give us some final thoughts and something cool about Mark.
I mean, again, it's like hanging out with the coolest uncle you can whenever you hang out with him. I can't stress it enough. Matches, he comes to them. Like, don't pass up these opportunities to meet someone. Like, you won't find people like that at, let's say, a local AR match or something like that. Like, he's coming out and meeting people, and just go out and do it. I mean, we get to hang out with him, and I'm super grateful for that. No, it was not. But yeah, hopefully get to see you tomorrow and do some other shit. So,
well, cool.
Exactly. And that is why I love hanging out with you.
Well, am I supposed to sum everybody up at once? No, Tommy's been great. A great goddamn force multiplier for me. The man that's got more energy than any freaking person on the planet.
100%.
I've never seen anybody like him. Jamie is knowledgeable guy, awesome person, social media.
Stop it.
Shoots. He's and this is, you don't just shoot good for me. You got to be a good person. And I didn't start the team, Jamie did, but it's all composed of really good people, which is important to me. You know,
I'm just glad shooting skill isn't important to you, because Jamie would be kicked off the team.
Hell yeah, I would.
That's what it was.
I'll remember that, Clay.
Yeah.
I'll remember that. This is on the internet forever.
If somebody buys shirts, you know.
That's just fuel, Jamie.
I was gonna send you a shirt tomorrow.
Hey, we'll find a tank top.
That's a metaphorical fire under your ass.
Yeah, no
There
shit.
you go.
Thank
Use it for fuel. Come on.
Son of a bitch.
All right, Jamie, hit us with it.
Yeah, Mark's awesome. And I don't know, he's very knowledgeable. I appreciate the fact that he opens the door when I show up on Saturdays and knock on it. He teaches me things, and he's a vast well of knowledge that most of it I can't comprehend. But he takes the time to teach me things, and I'm very much appreciative of it. And I'm just glad that I get to hang out with him and learn things. And he's fucking awesome. Unlike Clay, who sits there and talks shit about people on the live stream. But whatever.
Well, I got the same thing to say about all of them. It's pretty much about the
literally
same.
just wait. Where's my finger?
you guys have helped me severely, and I really appreciate it. And kind of got me inspired, I will say. I was at the point where I was wondering if I was just going to go off the parts, making parts or whatever. And then I decided to take the last largest amassed money I ever had and gamble on this stupid gun. But it looks like it's paying off, and I'm
It's
very
amazing.
happy.
Mark's very humble, and he doesn't give himself the credit that he is very well deserved. But if you ever see him at a competition or out somewhere, tell him how much you love him. Tell him how you think he's the godfather of the AK and an OG, because he loves that shit when people come up to him and tell him how awesome he is.
And his shoulder
That's what ChatGPT said.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Show, say something tonight.
Show, you've known Mark longer than any of us.
I'm doing what everyone should be doing, is listening to Mark. That's it. He's the OG. He's the king.
Oh, dang.
And my closing thing is
you
absorb everything, butter him up.
Butter
him up real good.
With him, it's, you know,
Spit on your hand.
You know, I mean, none of this shit occurs. I
butter up my
say.
dad, okay?
Yeah, there you go.
I'm happy. Buy his gun and realize.
No, they do things for me that would make it possible. I will say, must.
Around him, there's two.
Love y'all, guys. I mean, really, you guys have done a lot for me, all of you. And this is getting a little, you know, are we supposed to call each other when we get home? You know, I mean,
you hang
we're
up
just
first,
gonna
Mark.
go home and watch each other stand in the white.
We'll talk about.
Well, it was a pleasure talking to you guys, and thanks for listening to me get puffed up all night for 3 whole hours. Holy shit.
Getting puffed up.
You guys have an awesome evening, and thank you very much, Clay.
Yeah. Clay, this is awesome. Moments like this can't happen without you, just like I say about Clash Bash and all these other things. So thank you.
Yeah, Clay, you're all right.
Yeah, he's an okay dude.
I'll send you a couple links, Jamie. Maybe you'll learn something.
Good, send them. I need to learn some shit.
There's them.
Okay.
Well,
I'll see you in a match soon. We'll see.
All right.
All right.
Well, other than
you guys
Jamie,
have a wonderful evening, and thank you for everybody that was listening. Have a good night.
Yeah, have a good night, everyone. Tommy, love you. Jamie, love
you. Guys, have a good one.
You know, practice a little more. Show,
yeah.
Love you. Krebs, keep doing what you're doing, man. And the chat has just been pouring their hearts out to you. Everyone loves you. Everyone wants to butter up Krebs and to twist them nipples or whatever you said earlier. That was pretty hot. Yeah.
I'm not opposed to the treatment, but it does get a little thick. I mean, anyway. Thank you.
Right. Hey, thanks for watching, everyone. And hey, you know what? I know you should all go buy a t-shirt from the Krebs Custom webpage. At least YouTube will let me say that. Pretty dope ass t-shirts, man. So that's one way you can help out Mark.
Only $15.
Only $15. Mark's probably packing it up for you.
You can heard him say it.
Market basement gun shirts.
Hey, every t-shirt someone buys, Mark will put it on and twist his nips and throw it back in the box for you. How about that?
I'll make sure it happens.
That's $15. 15 American dollars.
Well, I got to get one of my jumbos for that. You know, cut out the nipple holes and send it to you.
All right, everyone. Well, hey, thanks everyone for watching. We had a lot of people watching tonight. That's so cool. And this live stream will be available forever after we go off stream, so you can watch it on your road trips or whatever. Love you all. Bye. Have a good night.
Tall.